Saturday baseball between the Rockies and the Braves. Well, Colorado has sure had the advantage the last two nights, beating the Braves 5-3 both nights, but they've had to tax their bullpen a little bit today. They turn to their ace, Jorge De La Rosa, and for more on him, let's turn it over to Drew Goodman and Jeff Husick, guys.
Jenny, thanks very much. You know what? Jorge De La Rosa is amazing. You and I, it's funny, during a commercial break last night, we started chatting about Jorge because we were looking forward to seeing him pitch today. His mark here has been unbelievable. Not only what he's done at home, but just what he's done in a Rockies uniform.
I think back to this last road trip. They needed a couple wins bad. Who did they turn to? One in Oakland, Jorge, the other one down in Arizona. He comes through both times, and this was so nice to see his career numbers. How about that? You say he can't pitch at Coors Field? Well, it doesn't matter to Jorge. 47-16, 4.21 ERA. But when you need a W, you need an ace, a stopper, whatever you want to call it, you're turning to this guy. 6-1 in his last 9 starts, but two other numbers really jump out to me. The Rockies record, they're 8-1, but also 6+ innings of 6 of the 9 starts, because especially what's happened in the first couple games here where you've had to use 14 relievers, 11 different ones because of injuries, etc. Jorge's going to go out there and he's going to give you some length today and maybe hopefully buy you some time for that bullpen. His last start down in Arizona, how about this? 1,000 strikeout of Paul Goldschmidt. So Jorge is well worth whatever you're paying him, because he is that guy that kind of calms the water for everybody else.
Yeah, you got to love it. He's won. The team's won 8 of his last 9 starts, and for a club that has struggled the last few years, Jorge is way above 500 during that same period. It's not easy to do in 31 games above 500 at Coors Field. This has been a very, very special pitcher for the Rockies. Colorado's won the first 2 of this series. Troy Tulowitzki back in the lineup today. Cargo's been swinging it. Rockies and Braves, come on back to Coors Field with us. This Military Appreciation Day, everybody's eyes were skyward a few moments ago as this gentleman flew in literally with the Rockies flag. Well done. A couple of guys parachute in today in front of first pitch. Rockies and Braves, game 3 of a 4-game set just in front of the All-Star break 2015. And the Rockies trying to gain some momentum before the 4-day layoff. And so far, so good. They've won 2 straight here, 4 straight overall against Atlanta. And, you know, traditionally, Atlanta has been a big nemesis to the Rockies since the Rockies came to be back in 1993. There's Cameron Maybin. He's riding a 10-game hitting streak. He's going to lead things off for Freddie Gonzalez this afternoon. Here's the rest of Freddie's lineup, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Pedro Siriaco, a veteran guy, utility player, will play second base and bat second. Nick Markakis again third. Chris Johnson hitting well against left-handed pitching. He'll bat cleanup. Juan Uribe's back in there. Johnny Gomes again in left field. Andrelton Simmons will bat seventh. And the backup catcher, good receiver, Ryan Lavarnway, will bat 8th in front of the young right-hander Matt Whistler. So Jorge's on the mound. It's his 14th start of the year. He's looking for his 7th victory.
And he's allowed just 2 runs or less in 5 out of his last 6 starts. This is the first time that he's faced the Atlanta Braves since 2013, but he does have some starts under his belt. 3 starts, 5 games total. He's 1-1 against the Braves. But his last, I'd probably say, as we said, the last 6 or 7 outings for him have just been remarkable. Jorge's gotten back to feeling good again. I know he goes out there every game. It seems like he's battling that finger issue, but there's been no issue with the groin, and that's allowed him to go deep into games.
You know, he always seems to be dealing with something, and the finger issue obviously has been problematic, not only this year, but throughout his career. However, he is a tough guy. He is a really tough guy. He takes the baseball, saved the Tommy John surgery and the finger surgery a couple years back. He takes the baseball every 5th day, and he just wins.
And that's the bottom line when you're talking about a pitcher. How does he do it? You know, sometimes it's smoke and mirrors, other times it's overpowering the team. But at the end, did he come away with the victory, or at least give your ball club a chance to win? And Jorge's done that.
So here we go. And the first pitch of the ball game is in there for a strike on Cameron Maybin. The one victory, he's 1-1, as Jeff mentioned, against the Braves. The one victory he had against Atlanta came back in 2010 here at Coors Field, and it was a gem. That ball's fouled off. He went 7 innings, allowing 2 runs on 6 hits. He struck out 7, walked just 1 that day. So 1-1, but he does have a high ERA.
Yeah, 7.71. He's given up 16 earned runs in 18 2/3 innings.
The way I look at that is, remember, he went down to Phoenix the other day, had not won at Chase Field, and pitched a beautiful game, stopped a 4-game losing streak. And I know Jeff was discussing that a few moments ago, that the last couple of times out, the Rockies had lost 4 in a row. And Jorge takes the baseball, and they beat Oakland 2-1, and he did the same thing in Phoenix against the Diamondbacks.
And I thought that one in Phoenix, and I was talking about it on the pregame show that day, and I don't say it very often during the course of a season, but that was a must-win after getting beat the first 3 games. And he came out and he said, okay, I haven't won here, but I am going to win today, and the club did, and it just made that, coming off that road trip, just a little better.
And there is, it's hard with him, whether that was a slider or the splitter, whatever it was. Maybin didn't off route it, and it was right down the middle, or actually middle high, but on the inside corner. And a strikeout to begin things for De La Rosa. Here are the Rockies' gloves this afternoon behind Jorge. Rockies middle of the pack in terms of fielding percentage, 984. Barnes, Blackman, Cargo, Arenado, Tulowitzki, LeMahieu, Ben Paulson in the infield. Michael McHenry, Fort McHenry, is behind the plate, and that's been a good combination with Mac behind the plate and Dale on the mound.
They just seem to have that chemistry that it just develops between a pitcher and a catcher, and sometimes it just happens. And I think this is the case where they've worked well so many times together. Now they have that comfort level where whatever Michael throws down, Jorge says, okay, I'll throw it.
Well, I like that. He flipped up the curveball early, and he gets a strike on Siriaco, and it's 0-2.
Did that a few times down in Arizona, where he throw that curveball just to get me over curveball early to put it in the back of the mind of the hitter.
0-2, and it's fouled off by Siriaco. So this is what we're discussing. In games started with McHenry behind the plate, 7 games this year, he's 5-0 with a .232, and the opposition's hitting a .189. How about that? And career-wise, it's been great.
The club this year with Michael starting all games are 15-8.
The importance of having good receivers, and McHenry's been good, and Nick Hundley's been really good. 2 strikeouts to start the afternoon for Jorge De La Rosa against a club that doesn't strike out much.
No, and I'm going to say both of those are the splitter. 84 on the first one, and you can see it right out of the hand of the Subaru Supermo. And he'll do the splitter 2 different ways. One where he'll come off to the side more, and it looks like a slider going in. The other one will come straight over the top, and that'll have the darting downward bite.
And what's unusual about De La Rosa is most guys, the pitch they throw the most is their fastball. With Jorge, the pitch he actually throws more than any other is that splitter.
Since 2013, nobody in the major leagues has thrown more splitters than Jorge. And coming into the game, he had thrown 1,994 split fingers.
Here's the 0-1 on Markakis. Yeah, Jose Mesa's watching somewhere, and he goes, "Dude, you throw a lot of splitters."
I thought I did. I just remember Jorge. Remember he had, Jose Mesa had the softball, and he would split those fingers with the softball.
I didn't like watching that. We'd have shots of that when he was here briefly, of him in the dugout, and it just, there's a strike, just didn't look natural. When you're trying to, it's one thing using it on a baseball, but on a softball, he had long digits too.
Well, and he'd play long toss from one foul pole to the other
in different stadiums.
Yes.
I mean, he'd throw from one stadium to the next stadium the team was visiting. Seemed that way. 1-2. Fastball away called by McHenry against Markakis. And that's fouled off. Heater at 92. We've seen Dale up to 96 this year with the fastball. See the Rockies on this Military Appreciation Day, wearing their camo tops. The numbers in camo, the hats as well, the bill of the hat. Love the look. Swung on and missed. The tag at home plate. A rather nice start for Jorge De La Rosa. 1-2-3. Strikes out the side. In succession, he gets Maben looking. Siriaco swinging. Markakis flailing. From Jorge De La Rosa as he struck out the side. Charlie Blackmon's going to lead things off for the Rockies. No surprise there. He brings a .280 average into the ball game today. A couple stolen bases as well for Charlie yesterday. Here's the Southwest batting order for Walt Weiss on this Saturday afternoon. Nolan Arenado will follow. He's at 291, 24 and 69. Tulowitzki back in there. He had yesterday off. He's riding a 21-game hitting streak. Cargo's been heating up big time. Michael McHenry will bat fifth, then Paulson, DJ LeMahieu, Brandon Barnes at the 8th spot, and then Jorge De La Rosa to face the young right-hander Matt Whistler, who is one of the prizes of the trade right before the start of the season, when the baseball world was shocked. Craig Kimbrell, one of the game's great closers, going from Atlanta literally 24 hours before the season is going to begin to San Diego. This was the Padres' #1 prospect.
Yeah, he was ranked that going into this season, a former 7th-round pick out of high school by the Padres. 6'3", 195 pounds, just 22 years of age. 5th start on the season.
This is loop to right for a base hit. Stay hot, Charlie Blackmon.
Didn't hit it particularly hard, did Charlie? As you'll see, this gets in on the label of the bat, splinters it. Left in a couple pieces, but you'll never complain about a base hit, and I know Charlie won't. You hear hitters talk about, okay, I got to let the ball get deep. Well, that one did. It's still strong enough to throw it out into right field.
So this is where all that homework for Charlie Blackmon pays off. He has studied Whistler on tape. And that ball's fouled off by Arenado to see what kind of, not only what kind of move he has, but what are his times to the plate? How often does he slide step? Does he slide step at all? All of those things, and they've helped Charlie become an elite base stealer.
That's why he's 23 out of 30 this year, and he's increased his total from last year. You have to study the pitchers and their tendencies like you would at the plate.
Pretty good feet there on his move to first.
So you know he's a good athlete. That's another thing you'll put in that checklist of things that he does. But I like Charlie where he gets his lead right away. He's got a nice solid lead, and Whistler looks over there and says, "Wait a second, you're that far off already?"
Let me ask you something. Did you ever, when a guy had a great move but wasn't necessarily quick to the plate, would you shorten up a quarter step so you could get back, but still felt like I could? No, you always took the same lead?
Same lead, because I didn't want to feel like I was in a negative position thinking going back before I wanted to go forward.
He was pretty quick to the plate there. He was about 115.
Can't run. If he's anywhere from 125, I think, and below, then you can't do it. It's a hit and run type of day.
He is an athletic kid. He's a native of Ohio. Jeff mentioned a 7th-round pick out of Bryan, Ohio. Bryan High School in Bryan, Ohio.
233rd pick overall. Now, if I'm Charlie, if I don't think I can steal the base, this is a time when you look for a ball down in the dirt and maybe advance that way. Boy, dandy pitch.
Yeah, Whistler strikes out Arenado. Guys will be asking Arenado about ball movement when he gets to the dugout from the other guys in the lineup. Here's the defense for Atlanta. In the outfield, Johnny Gomes, not a great left fielder. Cameron Maybin covers a lot of ground in center. Nick Markakis has always been a good outfielder. Juan Uribe, if you hit it within his range, he's going to get you out. Simmons is terrific. Siriaco is steady. Chris Johnson at first, and a very good receiver, Ryan Lavarnway. So one out. Here's Tulowitzki.
Maximum lead for Charlie. Step and a dive.
There's a strike on Troy, and during his 21-game hitting streak, here's the spray chart. 10 to left, 12 in the middle, 7 to right.
And I can only remember maybe 2 or 3 games, one of them being down in Arizona, where he had to extend it late in the game, like the 7th, 8th, 9th inning.
And he's usually got got the business of keeping it alive early in the game. That's in 1-1. Another thing on leads, when you were looking at a right-handed pitcher, Jeff, were you focused on both heels? Were you focused on the front heel?
I was focused on the back heel.
On the back heel?
Because if the back heel stays down in the ground, he's going home. The only way he can come to first base is if he lifts that back heel up. So it's kind of a combination. Focus on that, but if you see it down in the ground as the other moves, then you take off.
You know what? Tell you what, Charlie started to go and then had to slam on the brakes. Watch this.
We talk about an internal clock for a fielder and how much time you have when you get a ground ball. It's the same for a base stealer. There's just something saying, man, he's got to go home now. He's got to, and you take off, but then you have to shut it down, because if he would have stepped off, he would have had you at first.
I love how Charlie describes how he's adopted his role. Everything he does, he says, I want to be more leadoffy. That's his word. Leadoffy.
I like the word.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to be in the dictionary, maybe the Urban Dictionary.
Right. The baseball dictionary.
Yes, baseball.
Probably a new edition. Leadoffy. 2-1 on Troy. Live arm. He's going to sit 92 to 94, touch 95 with that fastball. Rockies obviously seeing young Matt Whistler for the first time. He's called to the big leagues recently. Won his debut for Freddie Gonzalez against the New York Mets.
Kind of got beat around in his next start against Washington, but faced him 5 days later, made the adjustment, figured out what he needed to do. Only gave up 1 hit the next time he faced the Nats. All these throwovers, though, they start to wear you out, tire you out as a base stealer. It was the 4th or 5th time that Charlie's had to dive back.
And it's good technique, too, because Charlie gets on the ground as opposed to being slightly airborne. You see guys do that, and it's not as efficient getting to the back corner, is it?
No, so you think about throwing your right arm across your body to the bag, and that'll get you down to the ground quicker.
And a strikeout of Tulowitzki. So Whistler has struck out Arenado and Tulowitzki back to back. Here comes Cargo. He's done a lot of damage the last 5 games. How about a 476 average, slugging almost 1,000.
And that one of those home runs in Arizona was the opposite field. They had 2 doubles to right field, but then 2 laser bullets to left field.
Using the whole ballpark.
Well,
and that's when you know a guy's starting to really get comfortable.
And Spilly broke him down in the pregame show, and it was spot on with the way he's able to get back onto his back leg now, and that's helping things out for his balance at the plate. You know, any hitter will tell you, I have to be balanced, and if I'm balanced, then my timing's right.
I also think he has done a better job of identifying borderline pitches and letting them pass.
Because he's balanced and on time. It works hand in hand. When you're not, you won't take pitches like that one. You'll swing at them. You'll flail at it thinking, oh, it's a strike out of the hand, because you really didn't see it.
I was kidding him this morning. I said that ball you hit out yesterday was 4 inches off the plate.
I said, so? I hit it out.
That's right. He can do that. This ball's blasted to center field, way back. Take a good look. You won't see it for long. Cargo has done it again. And the Rockies have a 2-0 lead. Right on cue.
What were you just saying a minute ago, Drew, about that ball he hit just off the plate last night for a home run to dead center field? Well, you want a replay, but in a different game, here it is. Set up away.
You're right on, man. I think that was off the plate an inch or two.
It was probably the width of a baseball, and he hit it in the same spot to dead center field.
I'll tell you what, National League, look out, because I think Cargo's starting to warm up. Rough first half for the most part, but he's locked in right now. I mean, those are vintage Cargo swings of the bat. He backspins the baseball, as hitters talk about, like few guys in the game.
On the Subaru Supermo, just like last night. Look at this, though, right off the sweet spot again, and he just takes it out to dead center field.
High fly ball down the right field line off the bat of McHenry, and Markakis in the corner makes the catch to end the inning. But the Rockies have a 2-0 lead thanks to Cinco. Carlos Gonzalez to dead central. 2-0 Rockies as we go to the second.
Coors Field to make it 2-0. Jorge De La Rosa, a great first inning. Michael McHenry has caught him for the majority of this year. In fact, he's 5-0 when McHenry is behind the plate. They have a special relationship that goes back to 2010 when McHenry was first here with the Rockies and caught him in rehab starts at AAA Colorado Springs. And Walt Weiss talked about that relationship today.
He knows which buttons to push with Georgie. And there's only a few on the planet that know those buttons. But we all know Georgie's competitiveness and how intense he is on the mound. I think Mac brings a nice balance to that.
Yeah, they've been able to work together, and McHenry's like that around the clubhouse. Now, I am wearing today, if you're wondering, a Fort McHenry July 4th game-used jersey because it's Military Appreciation Day. Fort McHenry, War of 1812, 1814, Francis Scott Key, Star Spangled Banner. Figured I couldn't go wrong, right?
You know what, Mark? We love you. And, dude, you spent like $6,000 on jerseys in the last week. But that's a beauty, too. I love the LeMahieu one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are always thinking.
Yeah, the DJ
you know what?
one on last night, today the Fort.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah.
You just keep thinking.
I said the
why?
Why?
That's from one of my all-time favorite movies. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Right.
Butch, Redford says to Butch, you just keep thinking.
I said to DJ today, I don't have to interview you after the game. It's McHenry today, so we'll see how that works.
So he's going to blow right past you. De La Rosa with another strikeout as he fans Chris Johnson. If he continues on this pace, Huey, he will strike out 27 hitters, and that would be a record.
Well, it would blow past the 20 strikeouts of a Kerry Wood and a Roger Clemens.
You know when you have really good movement, the last two guys he struck out are balls in the dirt, so McHenry's literally had to reach out and then tag. First Markakis and then Chris Johnson. Here's Juan Uribe.
Not have to worry about throwing it to first.
Inside on Juan. Hitless in the series so far. Had a pinch hitting appearance last night. He's 0 for 5. Comes in again. 2-0.
And that was the cut fastball, 87 miles an hour.
Uribe hasn't had great success lifetime against De La. 7 for 33, 212 average. Here's the 2-0. And that's in the air to deep left field, and that one's gone. Thought I say that. 2-1.
You jinxed it.
My bad. So it's a 2-1 ball game.
7th home run for Uribe in an Atlanta jersey, 8 overall when he had one with the Dodgers. Jorge had gotten ahead of the previous 4 hitters, and then this time he fell behind. But where would the other ones end up? They were down there when he was striking guys out. That was mid-thigh. And that had some backspin on it.
That's a big, strong guy, Juan Uribe. So it's 2-1 as Johnny Gomes takes his turn. And he goes off speed and hits the strike zone on Gomes. One and one. Yeah, you were chatting with Willeen the other day, and Willeen asked you to go get Johnny Gomes if you didn't mind to introduce him. I was talking to the Bull a little bit more about why he likes Gomes today, and he said, I just love the way he plays, and I wanted to let him know that. He said, I feel the same way about Hunter Pence. He mentioned a couple other guys. He said, that's how you play the game. And he goes, I know Johnny's not like a huge star. He said, but he's been a good player for a long time, and I just wanted to let him know that I appreciate how he goes about his business. And that's good for, because Willeen's still a young player. For Willeen to notice that and adopt that. We've seen that with Willeen's work ethic at first base this year, and all the work he does that folks don't get to see.
So what does then Willeen do when he gets further down in his career? You know, hopefully somebody will come up to him and say, hey, I admire the way you play the game.
Yeah.
And that's how you pass down the generation of baseball and the professionalism, all of those little things that you want to teach youngsters.
Well, we heard the other day from DJ about how much Troy Tulowitzki has meant to DJ's career and Nolan Arenado's career. Nolan said it many times. Learning how to be a big leaguer. There was somebody, I'm sure, for you.
Tom Foley, third base coach for the or pitch coach now with the Tampa Bay Rays. When I was playing with Montreal, same thing. He taught me how to act, how to dress, what time you showed up, all the little things.
You want to go in with your eyes wide open, your ears wide open, and probably your mouth closed for a while.
Your mouth shut.
Yeah.
It's the best way to do it. Doesn't always happen with some youngsters, but that's the best way to do it.
Andrelton Simmons bounces this one to Troy, and Troy will throw out his shortstop counterpart. Home run by Juan Uribe on a 2-0 pitch, and it's a 2-1 ball game as we go to the bottom of the second. Town Toyota stores. Let's go places. And by Southwest Airlines, book your low fare now at southwest.com. Absolutely gorgeous day at Coors Field and other places in our marvelous state. Ben Paulson leading things off in the second with Jeff Hewson and Mark Stout. I'm Drew Goodman. Rockies up 2-1. Cargo a 2-run home run. Wanaribe a solo home run. That's a high fly ball to Gomes in left, and Paulson is retired. Rockies fans, join in on the conversation. We invite you to do this each and every ball game. Send us thoughts, photos, small essays via Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. Use the hashtag Toyota Talk. DJ LeMahieu started the year hitting in the 8th spot, but he was hitting 350, and Walt said, you know what, you're going to move up, son. You're going to bat second. And he's batted primarily in the 2 spot, though lately Walt's moved him into an RBI role at times, a 6 hole, and today he's batting 7th.
4 ABs batting 7th on the year, but to your point, Drew, 166 at bats, hitting in the number 2 spot in the lineup. The only location he hasn't hit has been 3rd, 4th, or 5th this year.
And DJ takes a strike on the 2-0 delivery, so it's 2-1 from Matt Whistler, 22-year-old. What were you doing when you were 22?
Finishing up, well, I should say my first senior year of college.
Your first senior year of college, that's right. Your next senior year came like 18 years later.
Right, but my first senior year. Right before I signed.
This is on the ground up the middle, but Siriaco is there. 2 outs.
Well, early on, you could see why Matt Whistler was the #1 prospect of the Padres. They only gave up the home run to Cargo, but that's a bona fide big leaguer all-star that took you out to dead center field on the pitch that was off the plate. But he's at nice and easy 94, 95 mile an hour on the fastball, and as you said, just 22 years of age. Pretty bright future for Freddie Gonzalez and some of the guys on the pitching staff.
He's got a little hook on the backside.
He does something interesting when he drops his backhand. He also drops his front hand down, so he has an upside down W. So watch right there where he kind of throws both hands down. He'll hook it, not as bad as Sutcliffe with the Cubs, but just we're going to stop it right when he gets his hand back behind his body, and you'll see it right there where it kind of has to freeze for a second to let everything catch up again.
Not quite as dramatic as Ubaldo had.
No.
But he stabs a little bit. Works for him.
Yeah, works for Matt. At some point, you got to just let the guy pitch like he pitches. You can't try to fix everything.
This is going to be a base hit left center field off the bat of Brandon Barnes, and Barnesy is going to try to stretch it, and he's got himself a leg double. What a baby, Brandon Barnes.
I'm not sure he goes to second base if Cameron Maybin gets over and cuts that off. But with Johnny Gomes going to his left and then having to stop and come and make that throw, he doesn't have as strong as arm as Cameron. And Barnes running hard out of the back, getting help from EY at first base. But this is the base runner and the guy running is called. He's got to know. He can't wait to have that decision made for him. He makes it on his own.
And a bouncer to third, and Uribe's got it. He'll throw out De La Rosa. In the inning, the double by Barnes. That is all. We'll go to the third. Rockies leading 2-1 over Atlanta. Cameron Maben. And earlier today, the Rockies made another roster move. Welcome back Rex Brothers, who's really picked things up and thrown the baseball well in Albuquerque. He's back with the Rockies. Aaron Laffey, who threw yesterday and actually got the victory, was designated for assignment. That came earlier this afternoon. So Rex arrived literally about an hour before the ball game was scheduled to start. He flew in from El Paso, where Albuquerque was rained out last night, so Rex could be right back in the mix today for Walt Weiss.
Good to see Rex back.
Oh, it's great to see him back. He's really worked hard on not only the mechanics of delivering a baseball, but also the mental side. This ball's hit a long way to right center. This is gone. Ryan Lavarnway with his first home run of the year, and he just tied up the game. So it's either a strikeout or a home run pretty much against De La Rosa today. 2 solo home runs allowed, Uribe last inning, and now Lavarnway, and it's 2-2.
Well, they claimed Lavarnway signed with Atlanta after being designated by Baltimore. It's just a good piece of hitting. I mean, it was down and away from him, and he took it out to right center field. Gets the load. Pretty nice high follow through. Really no doubt about that ball either. For Jorge, just the 9th home run given up after these 2 in this game. 7th to right-handed hitters.
Down low. 2 balls and a strike. When you're the backup catcher, any kind of offense that you bring is generally a bonus. Usually the backup catcher is known in the business as a catch and throw guy.
You're only going to play twice a week probably, so you better be able to handle the pitching staff and make the throws.
One out, and Cameron Maben comes up. Maben struck out looking his first time up on a splitter. Maben riding a career best matching 10-game hitting streak, and it's not going to get extended here. Two outs, and Pedro Siriaco will take his turn. Siriaco struck out swinging. 5 strikeouts for Jorge, his first time through the lineup.
Just giving the youngster Jace Peterson the day off. Didn't want him to face left on left with Jorge on the hill.
Inside corner, Siriaco looks back. Asked Paul Emmel, where was that? Maybe down in a little bit.
Maybe that's why he looked back and asked. But you do it diplomatically, saying, is that as low as it's going to be, or is that as inside as is it going to be? You don't just straight up come ask them, hey, that wasn't close, was it? They don't like that too much.
No. Are you nuts? That doesn't work.
What? No. What were you thinking? Doesn't work.
That doesn't work.
No.
Have you been drinking?
That one definitely. I've never heard used.
Right.
But that wouldn't be good either.
I see. So those are not diplomatic ways of going about it. A strikeout of Siriaco. That's 6 strikeouts for De La. But he gives up a solo home run to Ryan Lavarnway, his first of the year, and it's a 2-2 ball game, middle of 3. Time for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use the hashtag RMDataStrongFan, and hopefully you win and you get yourself in a game broadcast down the road. Charlie, a base hit in the first inning. Soft liner to right, and he would ride home on Cargo's 2-run home run of 441 feet to the fountains in center field. Outside, a ball and a strike on Charlie. He's putting together, Huey, a nice stretch heading to the All-Star break.
The average keeps going up. It's up to 283 now. Scoring a lot of runs. A few days ago, Mark broke it down as far as what his numbers were last year compared to what they are this year. And there's a couple categories that is higher. With stolen bases, we've already talked about that. That's higher. On base percentage. Charlie's just doing everything you can as a player to get better each and every year. And that's the bottom line. That's the stuff you work on in the wintertime.
Control the things you can control. Whether you're a player or a business person, right?
Always tell my kids that. All you can control is how hard you work and your effort. Some of the other things are out of your control. And that's what Charlie's done in the wintertime. And that's when you start to get better as a player. I mean, yeah, it's the at-bats and playing the games. But looking in the mirror and being an honest self-evaluator of what you need to do.
That's off the plate. I've heard some players through the years talk about they can tell with opponents or teammates how important it is for them to be great, not just good, because everybody who gets here obviously is really, really good. These are the best players in the world, but guys who want to be great, how do they take care of themselves? How are they in the weight room? How are they when they run their sprints, when they're working on the speed portion of the game, the explosion part of the game, not just taking ground balls and swinging the bat? What's the body look like?
You can't fake it. You can't fake going through the motions at this level, because there's always somebody that wants to take your job.
3-2 on Charlie. Foul back. You look at Charlie Blackmon. I mean, he's ripped. That's not going to be an issue. Every year, he's worked with a track coach in the offseason. This is a guy that already runs well.
What did you just say a moment ago? Control the things you can control.
Yeah. Listen, we'd all like to be Bo Jackson.
Yeah, would we?
Yeah.
That's just not going to happen.
And this ball in the air to left. Gomes coming on. Not going to get there. And it's another hit for Blackmon.
Johnny, it's been an adventure in left field. And with Coors Field being as big as it is, it's tough enough when you've got some speed. We saw last night the ball over his head. This one, he hesitated before he came in. Charlie's two for two.
Who wants tacos? If the Rockies score 7 or more runs, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6. Get your Rockies taco special. Live Moss at Taco Bell. Here's Nolan, second opportunity against Matt Whistler. Struck out swinging his first time. Nolan drove in his 69th run of the season yesterday in the first inning with a double. It had broken a stretch of 9 games without an RBI, and that was the longest of his career. It's crazy because in his previous week he drove in like 30 runs. And I exaggerate only slightly. Player of the week 2 weeks ago in the National League.
But with that 69th run last night, he's tied for first in the major leagues as a leader in RBIs.
First baseman for Arizona.
Yeah.
Pretty good too, huh?
Well, that's why he's also an all-star.
Stanton's been out, what, a couple weeks now? He's still leading the National League in home runs.
27.
Borderline pitch called a strike, so it's 2-1.
Did catch the the outside corner on the Ford strike zone.
Yeah, Paul Hamels a good umpire. He's behind the plate. He's worked a couple all-star games, worked the postseason.
Even though it was called a strike, it's still not a pitch you're going to swing at 2-0. Yeah, you hope to get to 3-0, but you're still okay at 2-1.
Umpire ever look at you and go, you wanted to hit anyhow?
You usually don't do a whole lot of talking like that.
There goes Charlie, and this ball is driven high and deep but foul. Almost to the concourse.
I think it might have gotten to the concourse. People in the second to last row, they jumped up, but it went off the back seats behind them on those folding chairs. Everybody okay? Yeah, we're good. I got a baseball.
Two. Charlie not going, and this is popped up right around home plate, and Lavarnway, that's a tough play for a catcher when it's right out in front and he didn't have time to get turned around.
And he didn't know where it was off the bat. Catcher's reaction is, I'm going to look behind me. And you like to, as you said, have your back to the infield. He didn't have time to do that, so he had to catch it basket style on the Subaru Supermo.
Tulo struck out swinging his first time since June 1st, hitting .363. One player's had a higher average in that time frame in the National League, Bryce Harper, who's having an MVP season. Ben Revere quietly on a lot of lists. Stolen bases, batting average of late.
Probably be on somebody's trade radar.
Could be, yeah. You would assume Philadelphia is going to be busy. Charlie's been out there twice now after base hits, and I think that's about the 7th or 8th time Whistler's thrown over.
Funny you said that, because I was just trying to replay all those in my mind, and I got to 8.
Oh, 2 foul tip. So Mom's going to have to wash Charlie's uniform before tomorrow.
I don't think Mom will have to do it. If he's playing down at the local Little League, yeah. It'll be Alan Bossert and his crew. Extra spray and wash, though. Wow.
That's the second time he's gotten Tulowitzki, and he reached back for a little something extra there. This will be an interesting matchup now. Cargo stepping up, and he swatted a ball away for a home run last night to center field. Matt Whistler fed him a fastball away in the first inning, and guess where that one landed?
Back-to-back days, he's hit a pitch that's not been a strike out. Just the long length of the swing for Cargo. I don't think they give him anything to hit. I mean, they're going to miss pretty. Oh, I'm really surprised he fed him a fastball, because prior to that pitch, I was looking down in the dugout and I saw Freddie Gonzalez. He looked at Lavarnway, the catcher, and pointed to his head like, be smart. Look who's on deck. Not taking anything away from Michael, but with Cargo just hitting a home run, and then you feed him a first pitch fastball right down the middle.
Now they set up away. And Cargo fouls that one off. This is how Cargo's picked it up in the month of July. We know April and May were rough. June was steady, 280 average, 548 slugging percentage, but July is off the charts now.
Cargo says he's just starting to feel stronger. So much in the offseason that was made of it with the knee surgery, trying to rehab from that. Well, that doesn't allow you to get strong baseball-wise. It allows you to get your legs stronger, but not the work that you need to put in on a consistent basis. And now he's had 2 or 3 months of doing that, so he's feeling comfortable like the beginning of a season would on a normal year.
2-strike count. And he got him on a slider down. That's a good pitch by Whistler. So a leadoff single by Blackman. Rockies couldn't do anything more. It's a 2-2 ball game going to the 4th. Off, and he swats the ball that was about ankle high to dead center field, about 6 miles away. Would be the MVP of that '89 Midsummer Classic. More memories to come Tuesday night in Cincinnati at Great American Ballpark. DJ LeMahieu, Nolan Arenado will be there.
Hey, and let's not forget Scotty Garrett making his first All-Star appearance as a trainer.
That's right, Scotty will be there. That's awesome. That's a great achievement for Scotty, the outstanding assistant trainer for the Rockies. De La Rosa against Markakis here in the 4th. He struck him out his first time. De La with 6 strikeouts. It's a 2-2 game because Juan Uribe a solo home run in the 2nd. Ryan Lavarnway a solo home run to right center field in the 3rd. Rockies got a 2-run home run from Cargo in the 1st. And quickly it's 0-2. Two misses, 1 and 2 on Markakis.
Tried to go back to the split finger, which he struck him out on in the 1st inning. Going to it again.
And the 2-2, little comebacker, and De La flips over to Ben Paulson. 1 out. We haven't shown you the full graphic on the coaching staff for the Atlanta Braves. A lot of veteran guys, a lot of names if you follow the sport you've heard of. Kevin Seitzer hit .295 in his career, is the hitting coach. He's done a really nice job. Roger McDowell's been there forever, and a guy who had a really good career, late inning reliever. Terry Pendleton, former MVP, he's been with the Braves for a long time. Bo Porter most recently was the manager of the Houston Astros. He's coaching third base. Carlos Tosca, close confidant of Freddie Gonzalez. Eddie Perez out in the bullpen. That's a good staff.
A lot of veteran experience, guys that have played in the big leagues, mixture of long life coaches.
A lot of guys who have a steady personality.
Well, you have to. I mean, a lot of people sometimes want to equate football and baseball, and you don't see the emotion sometimes of managers or coaches. But baseball's different. I mean, occasionally, sure, I think there's a need for it. There's a place for it. But when things are going kind of rocky, you need that steady, calming influence.
And now with smartphones, even players that may not have ever seen guys like Terry Pendleton or Kevin Seitzer or Roger McDowell play, flip out their phone and go, ooh, man, he was really good.
The history of the game sometimes is lost.
Yeah.
On the younger players. Not everybody. I don't want to say everybody's umbrellaed underneath that, but you know, you'll see TP is a marvelous switch hitter. Same both sides of the plate. Kevin Seitzer for all those years with the Kansas City Royals. There's a hitting academy down in Kansas City now.
He's got some good amateur teams out of there. Mack and Seitz play under that banner. Kansas City area.
Carlos Tosca, bench coach.
2-2 misses, 3-2. Three balls, 2 strikes on Chris Johnson. And on the ground up the middle, cut off by Tulo, and he throws to first, 2 outs. Nice play by Troy.
He kind of popped out of his glove, and then he had to just grab it with his bare hand. Well, be sure to check out Great Clips Charity Cuts on July 22nd. Stop by the Great Clips kiosk near right field for a free haircut from a Great Clips stylist, with all donations going to Colorado Rockies charities. Wednesday, July 22nd. Third game of a 3-game set with the Texas Rangers. And for De La Rosa, he has 6 strikeouts, 5 groundouts, and no flyouts. I thought I was going to have to add that to a 6th ground out.
Now here's what Juan did in the 2nd inning on a 2-0 pitch. He got a fastball center cut. He didn't miss it. Left center field and gone.
He's been doing that for a while in his career.
And this ball is hit hard, and it's going to drop right in front of Brandon Barnes, a base hit. So Uribe with a 2-out single. And that'll bring up Johnny Gomes. Johnny struck out his first time. 2-2 game. We're in the 4th. You were talking about the veteran coaching staff of the Atlanta Braves, and one of the holdovers from Bobby Cox's staff, Terry Pendleton naturally, but was Roger McDowell. And it got me thinking, for the Braves, they've had like 2 pitching coaches for a generation and a half. Leo Mazzoni for so long when he had all the Hall of Famers, and then Leo was paid big money to go to Baltimore. Roger McDowell was hired by Bobby Cox. That was 07. And of course, when Freddie took over from his mentor and very close friend Bobby Cox, and Bobby handpicked Freddie, and then Freddie, was managing, I understand, in Miami. he wasn't going to upset the apple cart, and he had a close relationship with McDowell, so Roger stayed on.
And the Braves have done that throughout their career. I mean, they've kept some guys, even down in the minor leagues, they've kept them a long time. And a lot of those guys are the pitching gurus that they have.
There's been a consistency in their organization, and I'm glad you mentioned the minor leagues. It has worked for the most part the same way in the minor leagues. And one of the threads, and we saw this gentleman, he's on the trip right now for Atlanta, former general manager, now president, John Shearholtz, who's one of the most respected guys in the game.
Well, and nothing beats experience. And there's going to be, you know, I'm sure there's things that John has made trades or done things that didn't work out. He said, man, I wish I hadn't have done that. But at the same time, he also has other guys around him to make those decisions with him. But the Atlanta Braves, talk about a consistent organization. The last time they had back-to-back sub-500 seasons, 1989 and 1990.
Which was right before they won 14 straight division titles.
Yeah, so since so how about that? Since 1991, only the Yankees have had a higher winning percentage during the regular season. That doesn't include the postseason. This is regular season numbers.
The one disappointment from a Braves standpoint is that all those division titles, they won only one World Series. That was in '95. I'm sure there were many other years they felt like, had things fallen differently, they could have been world champs. Simmons with 2 on and 2 out. A walk there to Gomes, the first walk allowed by Jorge today. 1-0. It's the first time he's worked out of the stretch. His last hitter to Gomes, because the only 2 guys to reach were Uribe and Lavarnway prior to that, and that was they were home runs. This is pulled foul. They will. We'll show you the imaging of the stadium. They're well underway. In fact, down the road, construction for their new ballpark. In a year and a half, they'll be in a new facility. They'll leave Turner Field. When we get to Atlanta, we'll show you the progress they've made with their new ballpark out in suburbia.
Rockies will be in Atlanta August 24th, 25th, and 26th. '17. Is it Sun Trust? I think that's what it's going to be called, Sun Trust Stadium.
I think that's right. I'm just going to call it the home of the Braves, the new home of the Braves. The new home of the Braves.
Not Fulton County Stadium or Turner Field, the new home.
Georgia State's going to use Turner Field as their home stadium in football. That's inside. Now it's a full count. So all of a sudden, Jorge's thrown a lot of pitches. He was pounding the strike zone. He gave up the base hit to Uribe, walked Gomes, and now he's gone full on Simmons, which means the runners will be in motion here in a 2-2 game, top of 4. Rockies with 4 hits, the Braves with 3.
That's going to help both of the guys on base because they're not exactly fleet-footed.
And that's low, ball 4. And now the bases are loaded, and Lavarnway's coming up, and Steve Foster's coming out.
This isn't any sort of mechanical. It's just a chance for Steve to go out there and just make sure Jorge's okay mentally.
be careful here.
I was thinking that maybe a split finger.
Strike one. That's important.
Or was a cutter. That's why I was thinking either the split finger. You don't want to feed him a fastball.
Well, Varnway with that long home run to right center his first time up. He's hitting 5 straight, which is hard to put a streak together when you're the backup catcher. It's not like you're playing every day. And that's back at Jorge. He's got it. And they'll lob it to first. He gets out of it. A single and a couple of walks. The Braves will leave the bases loaded in the 4th inning. Middle of 4. Rockies 2, Braves 2.
About the history with the Braves, the history of the game. Well, a lot of Rockies players grew up Braves fans. One of them is Ben Paulson, who's on deck this inning to hit. He wears number 10 because of Chipper Jones.
I remember one of the first baseball games I can remember in that 1995 season. You know, the high socks, eye black, when the flip downs, and I was like, that's going to be my guy. So, you know, it was always fun watching him and I guess rooting the Braves on when you're growing up.
Yeah, he went to high school in Marietta, Georgia, but that was about when he was 8 or so. So, you know, an impressionable time. A lot of these guys, Braves fans, Ben Paulson is one of them, guys.
Yeah, there's so many guys that were influenced by Chipper Jones in the southeastern corridor, probably all over the country, as great as Chipper was. And the swing was almost identical from the left side and the right side, and the results were pretty much identical, left side, right side. He hit slightly over 300 in his career from both sides of the plate.
And he could play a pretty mean third base.
There's nothing he couldn't do. And McHenry's gone. That's 3 straight strikeouts now for Matt Whistler. Bring up Ben Paulson.
5 overall. Come into the game with 14 strikeouts in 23 innings, only 6 walks. You know, he was watching intently last night too when Shelby Miller was getting hit around. Thinking, oh boy, I got to follow that up tomorrow.
That's a fair ball down the third base line, and Paulson into second with a 1-out double. You know,
Ben just likes to flirt with that third base line.
He did yesterday, hit the bag yesterday. Today he got it inside the bag.
Curveball. Ben just did a better piece of hitting because it wasn't a bad curveball. That's a slice down the line at, I think you'd see at Wimbledon.
Speaking of Wimbledon, congratulations to Serena Williams, 6'4", 6'4".
That's what made me think of it, because I was watching a little bit of that.
She's won. She has another Serena Slam, and she's going for the Grand Slam in New York in a few weeks.
We're going to be out there just before the U.S. Open. Was it last year or 2 years ago?
Growing up,
we were out there.
We were out there.
Yeah.
I think it was a couple years ago. Growing up, I used to go to the U.S. Open, and I'm telling you what a tremendous event. I had the good fortune once of many years ago going to Wimbledon, and you're talking about whether you're a tennis fan or not. Those are spectacular events, some of the best events in the world. And Serena, really one of the greatest female athletes of all time, regardless of sport. 2-0 right now on DJ, and that's low. 3-0.
2-0 pitch in the dirt. It shows you the respect of DJ.
Takes a strike. Good eye. So now the Rockies have 2 on and 1 out for Brandon Barnes. This is where hitting in that 8 spot becomes such a challenge. You have the pitcher behind you. It's an RBI situation. Whistler knows that. He knows this is the big at bat of the inning.
It does help that there's only 1 out. If 2 outs, it would make it more difficult because you would have to expand. But 1 out, it's not as bad, but you do have to go up there with the plan and say, might have to swing at something that I normally wouldn't do.
Spins the first one and misses. It's 1-0.
Just like that subtle movement by Brandon a moment ago. Right after he took that pitch, he kind of took his top hand and just fired it back towards the pitcher like, okay, I need to stay inside the ball, stay short to the ball.
That's a strike. 1-1.
Again, all these little messages that you send to yourself, rather than thinking about too many things, you know, where are my hands, where are my feet, my body, all that, just think of one simple trigger point.
Fouled off, a ball and 2 strikes.
Simmons is going to come in from shortstop. This could be they're changing up their signs, but just prior to that last pitch, Ben was dancing off a second base. While we have a moment, movie night is back tomorrow. All fans are invited to stay and watch the rookie following the game versus the Atlanta Braves. Purchase a movie night ticket package to access the field for the movie and receive a special blanket. You better hurry up, though. That's tomorrow night.
One, 2 on Barnes. And it's called strike 3 by Paul Emmel. 6 strikeouts for Whistler.
I see why Brandon took it, but it's where LaVarnway set up and there was no wasted movement. Now Paul Emmel was sitting right over the shoulder of Ryan and called it a strike. That's the one that's hard to stomach as a hitter because the umpire's looking right over the shoulder. It's not like he's having to try to guess where that pitch was.
And this is bounced towards Simmons, and he wins the race to the bag to end the inning. So the Rockies got a double from Paulson, also a walk to LeMahieu. They'll leave 2 on as we go to the 5th in a 2-2 ball game. $150. It's not just a truck, it's the future of tough. By Southwest Airlines, book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. This is with a GoPro. This is one of the parachutists, members of our military, to fly in today. This is making an arrival.
Brave. That's not on my bucket list, I can tell you that. I admire those guys that do it. I know the guy that brought in the Colorado Rockies flag today is a cadet down at the Air Force Academy.
They're brave souls. And yeah, no, I'm not jumping out of a plane. That's not on my bucket list either. Though Chris did, my wife's 30th birthday. Did a tandem jump.
Good for her.
That's what I said. Good for you. Good for you, babe. I'll be on the ground taking the pictures. Matt Whistler at the plate. Matt takes strike 1. 9-1 and 2 in the 5th inning. You know who we should set up to, you know, maybe wear a GoPro and jump out of a plane as part of, you know, maybe for Rockies Weekly, or that ball's fouled off.
I think I know
Rockies
who you're going to send up there.
Who would you send up there in our crew?
I'd send up Corey.
So would I. I think Corey's the perfect candidate. Listen, athletic guy, didn't get out of the game all that long ago, takes good care of himself. You know, and he has kind of that. How do we phrase this? This ball's in the air, the car going right. You know, a guy that, you know, likes to try different things.
Well, he flew with the Thunderbirds, I think it was last year up at Cheyenne Frontier Days.
That's right. So this is right up his alley.
It's right up his alley.
So I think we are going to endeavor to set something up where Corey jumps out of a plane, and again we put the GoPro on him, and we have to have audio also.
Yes, we do.
Whistler's retired. That'll bring up Cameron Maben. Maben takes a strike. Cameron, a 10-game hitting streak, a strikeout in the 1st, and a little comebacker in the 3rd. may have been wanting to bunt. You ever had that happen, Hugh? You were going to lay down a bunt, and the pitch is hunting your body.
Yes, but there's nowhere for you to go. I mean, you're saying, I want to bunt this. I'm trying to stick the bat out there, but it's coming in close to my body. How do I get out of the way and pull the bat back at the same time?
And Cameron's done it again off the end of the bat. He hits it right back to De La. 2 outs. And that'll bring up Pedro Siriaco. 2 strikeouts this afternoon for Siriaco. And De La Rosa has 6 punch outs in the ball game as he works with 2 gone in the 5th inning. 2-2. Cargo a 2-run home run in the first against Matt Whistler. 2 solo home runs. The only damage allowed by De La Rosa. Solo home run by Juan Uribe in the second. Ryan Lavarnway in the third. Siriaco hits this down the left field line, and it's a fair ball. It's going to jump into that corner. And it's going to be a 2-out double for the utility man for Atlanta. That was, I am not getting deep. I'm not getting in a splitter count with you.
I'm going to swing at the first pitch. Just a 6th extra base hit for Atlanta. That was a cut fastball. It went off the label. You can kind of hear the thud of the bat. Wasn't hit all that well. It still kept the hands inside the baseball that landed fair down the line. Many times when that ball's cutting in, you think I got to get out the barrel out faster. You'll end up hooking those balls foul.
Markakis, strike on Nick Markakis, strikeout and a comebacker for Markakis. Rockies 2, Braves 2, top of the 5th inning.
It's an important last pitch because he's gone splitter away from Nick, so you'll start to lean and start to dive out over the plate. Then you stand him up with the fastball. Keep the hitter honest. This is always a tough choice if you're a pitcher, because you have him in a 1-2 count. You've struck him out with this splitter, but he just fouled the fastball off to the opposite field. So if you throw him a split, does it speed up his bat, or do you go back to a fastball? These are always the things he's like, where do I pitch him and what pitch do I use? I think that's why Jorge had to step off just to gather himself. But I still go back to the split finger. As long as you keep it down, you'll be fine.
1-2. He was down with that, but Markakis didn't fish. It's 2-2. Got him that time. Down and away. He strikes out Markakis for the 2nd time today. Siriaco left in scoring position. Middle of 5. The Rockies and Braves tied at 2. 7 strikeouts for De La Rosa. For the Rockies, Cargo went deep in the first inning with the man aboard. But Matt Whistler has settled in a couple of solo home runs for the Braves. Juan Uribe, Ryan Lavarnway, the only damage against Jorge De La Rosa. So in the bottom of the fifth, the Rockies will at the top of the order. Third look at the 22-year-old Whistler, and it's ball one on Blackman, who's 2 for 2.
Charlie's had multiple hit games in 6 out of his last 7. Batting .448, 13 for 29.
And that's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike on Blackman. And this is hit to left field. Gomes will
hesitate,
and then he had to hustle for a moment to get to the baseball. 1 out. Well, Nolan 0 for 2, a strikeout and a pop out right in front of the plate. So it's going to be his turn against Whistler. This ball's line, deep left field. It is off the very top of the wall. Gomes' throw towards second is in time. No! Safe at second. Arenado got a hand in, evidently. The ball beat him to the bag. Freddie Gonzalez is already out on the field, looking back, waiting for a call from his video guy. Arenado came within, I think, less than a foot of hitting it out. And then Gomes made a perfect throw to second.
Johnny plays so deep, and he gets a hard hop off the wall on 1 hop, spins and throws it the same motion. I just scared to watch Nolan go in, though, at second base, head first against the Atlanta Braves, because if you think back to what happened last time he did, he hurt his thumb. But he did the old swim move. Watch, he'll take his right hand and then pull it back and reach with the left.
And I'll tell you what, Mark Ripperger really stayed with that.
He didn't anticipate the call. He waited.
You know what I did? Because the ball beat him, and there's the tag, and his hand did get in. What a great slide by Nolan. Fortunately, he's okay. You do worry about the hands with those head-first slides.
And that's when he broke his thumb last year against Atlanta, down in Atlanta, on a head-first slide.
I told you it's Nolan's turn against Whistler.
Yes, you did.
1 out. Nolan at second. Here's Tulo. Now it's Troy's turn. He has struck out twice. He's not picking the ball up from Whistler, because not only is he struck out, he's not fouling the ball off.
And they're pitching Troy high, letter high.
Rockies and Braves tied at 2 in the 5th inning. And it's an 0-2 count on Troy.
And that was a prime example of not seeing the ball. It's an excuse me swing on a slider.
Tulo with a 21-game hitting streak, by far the best of his career. Best in the big leagues this year. He's on that pitch. Whistler throwing the ball up in the zone, which, okay, he's done it twice with success, but Troy likes the ball up, and he hits well above the league average on balls up in the zone, whether they're in, middle, or away.
It's the old theory that you can't continue to go to the same spot without somebody making the adjustment. And if you go up there, you're playing with fire.
Oh, 2, and this is lifted to Markakis in right. And that'll be the second out. That'll bring up Carlos Gonzalez.
Carlos with a home run earlier in the day. And we talked about Cargo and his ability to hit balls off the plate for home runs to center field last night. Look at where this pitch is, and then the picture on the right is today. I mean, that's almost identical plate coverage, stride, head positioning, and result. Today, a 441-foot home run, and they're going to intentionally walk Cargo, not even give him a chance.
It's a good baseball move. You go right on right with McHenry, who's 0 for 2, a fly ball to fairly deep right field and a strikeout. Listen, every manager, one thing they say going into a series, when they prepare with their coaches, when they're honest with the media, they say, listen, there's a guy or two in that lineup we can't let beat us in key situations. Well, when you play the Rockies, there's a few guys, you know, you don't want Arenado, you don't want Tulowitzki or Cargo to be the guy. Now, if there's other capable guys, it's easier to live with that if it's one of the, say, not quite superstars that beats you.
Sure.
But if you go and pitch to Cargo and he hits one at the third deck, Freddie Gonzalez is going to say, shame on me.
I shouldn't have done that. And also watching the way Cargo has swung the bat in this series, that's just the final piece of that puzzle for Freddie, saying, no, I'll just put him on and then I'm going to pitch to Michael.
And you know what, any competitor, we've said this many times through the years, right now,
sure,
Michael McHenry saying, okay, you want me, you got me. It's got to fire you up, make your focus that much more acute.
And it does. That's not just a line. You're standing in that box. You got to the big leagues because you're a competitor.
1-0 on McHenry. Good swing by Mack. It's 1-1.
Now you have to come up with that key hit, because Colorado's just 1 for 10 with runners on base today.
It's really been a trend of late, because the Rockies, with a number of hits their last 2 days, they've won both ball games, 5-3 and 5-3, but the number of hits would suggest they'd have even more runs. That's out of play. Baseball is a grind. And then you get an account like this in a 2-2 game, 2 men on, and you go into grind mode in the at-bat.
And I was just thinking, the music they're playing, it's the charge music. People are clapping. But this is where that tunnel vision just, it's me against the pitcher.
They play the charge music, but you can't charge at the baseball. No. From a hitter standpoint.
But
that doesn't work.
That's why you have to kind of put that out of your mind and just focus on what you think he's going to throw to you in this at bat.
He went slider. McHenry identified it early out of the hand. Stayed tall at the plate, and it's a 2-2 count. McHenry punches that one foul past Stu Cole.
Playing Michael pretty much straight up, not only on the infield but in the outfield as well.
Another 2-2 outside, 3-2. So the runners will be off. Ben Paulson, if McHenry can extend the inning, will come up next.
This will be good. If you get a ball, doesn't even have to go all the way to the wall with cargo. He'll be halfway to second base. You could maybe score him.
And McHenry swings and misses to end the inning. So Whistler with his 7th strikeout. And the Rockies leave 2 on as we go to the 6th, still tied at 2.
Park, and that's what we have on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. And I am here with Roger Roundsville. He tweeted Root Sports last night, said you're going to be at the game. 24 years in the military, huh?
Yes, sir. Air Force.
Tell me about your rank.
I was a Master Sergeant, E7 in the Air Force, and worked in Air Force Special Operations Command for about the last 16 years of my career.
Everyone watching and myself, thank you for your service. Who's here with you today?
My kids, I got Colton and Clayton. They're my twin stepsons, but don't tell them that. I call them my sons. And then I got Christopher, my 8-year-old son, and Olivia, my 6-year-old daughter. Their first game and my first game here. I watch it all the time on TV, but they're having fun.
Great day at the ballpark. Great day for military appreciation. You enjoy it.
We could use a few of those clouds today.
Yeah. We've had enough of them, though, Roger.
Yes, we have.
Thanks for coming on TV.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right. Drew, Jeff.
That's awesome. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Roger. Chris Johnson at the plate. An 0-2 count. Jorge De La Rosa working in the 6th inning. 81 pitches in.
Yeah, 53 strikes, only 28 balls thrown. Probably 8 or 9 of those was last 2 innings ago when he walked Gomes and Simmons.
Yeah, he's doing his thing, Huey, isn't he?
Yes.
He always gives the Rockies, virtually always gives them a chance to win.
Said it in the open, and bears repeating. He's given up just 2 runs or less in 5 out of his last 6 starts. And that's where he's sitting here in the 6th.
Outside. Over his last 9 starts, 6-1, a 2.96 ERA, and the club is 8-1. Gorgeous day. Temperature 87 degrees. That is to third. Nolan's got it. Juan Uribe will be coming up next. With every challenge call, the Subaru eyesight review will determine the outcome. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. Uribe really been the only guy other than LaVarnway to be problematic for Jorge this afternoon. A home run to left center and then a sharp single to left.
Well, the first time he fell behind in the count. The second time he left a cutter up.
1-0 on the former Rocky, and this is fouled off and out of play. How about the Giants last night against Philadelphia? They had 15 runs, 22 hits. At AT&T, no less. At night, what's going on there?
I thought you were going to go to the Twins, who scored 7 in the 9th inning to win.
That was
including Brian Dozier with the walk-off home run.
It's been a good season for the Minnesota Twins.
Kind of a shame that Dozier got left off the All-Star roster.
Yeah, very deserving of going. Not deserving of being left off.
Right.
In-game box for Atlanta this afternoon. There's Juan with the 2 hits. 2-2 count. Paulson's going to give it a look, but he's going to run out of room. See, in Oakland, that'd be an out.
I was thinking the same thing, just since we were there last week.
Sorry about that. That's not healthy for you.
It is not. I was just thinking that's too weird. I was thinking a few years working together, I guess.
Exactly.
Now that one would not have been an out.
That would not be an out. Another 2-2.
15 out of the 16 outs that Jorge has gotten have been via the off-speed pitch. Let's see if it's going to be 16 out of 17 with this next pitch to Juan.
That's the thing with De La Rosa. It's not like you can sit on a fastball and fastball counts. Deep in the hole, Tulowitzki to his feet and out at first base. Beautiful play by the Gold Glover, Troy Tulowitzki.
Last probably month and a half, he has been moving as well as he has in a number of years. Hot smash, he dives, gets up, not much time to think about it, and then skips it off the grass to Ben. Ben with the stretch, and watch his right hand as it goes to stop. He has to wait for a second because he pushed into the grass as he did that. And then Ben didn't stride too soon towards the ball. He waited to see where it was and then went after it. Too many times you see first basemen automatically start to stretch and then they reach and lose their range going across their body.
That was a superb play by Tulo. Johnny Gomes, a strikeout and a walk. Two balls, no strikes. Listen, we know by every metric Troy's been one of the great defensive shortstops, not only of his generation, but fielding percentage wise of all time. And Troy's always ready to play, loves to play. We all know that. But you get a little bit extra bounce in your step when you know that your counterpart on the other team is really well thought of defensively also.
And has also won a couple Gold Gloves.
The last couple.
2, and then prior to that it was Jimmy Rollins, and then Troy the 2 before Jimmy.
2-1, and this will be a little bit easier for Troy. Good inning again for Jorge De La Rosa. Looks behind him at his friend and shortstop Troy Tulowitzki. 2-2. Go to the bottom of the 6th. Dealer. Cargo's been red hot, and he took Matt Whistler 441 feet to dead center in the first inning with Charlie Blackmon aboard. Quick 2-0 lead for the Rockies. Jorge De La Rosa's been outstanding, but Juan Uribe got him in the second, and then the third. Ryan Lavarnway would hit a solo home run to right center field. That's all the score. Ben Paulson will lead things off in the bottom of the 6th inning. It's been a pitcher's duel. Matt Whistler, since the home run, has settled in nicely. And Dale has done his thing. Paulson, LeMahieu, Brandon Barnes, 6, 7, and 8 for Walt Weiss's club here in the 6th inning. Double for Ben down the third base line in the 4th inning. He's 1 for 2. Yeah, he's almost, Huey, 140 at bats into this, his second big league tour. He came up late last year and did very well. And he's holding his own. I mean, he's hitting in the high 280s.
He has an idea and an approach at the plate, what he wants to accomplish. Now, a lot of at bats down in the minor leagues will help that, but when you get to the big leagues, sometimes you think you got to do something more, something different than what's gotten you there. And I don't think Ben has fallen into that trap.
No, we've seen, the power again, just like we saw last September when he hit 4 home runs. He's got 5 home runs, 19 driven in since coming to the big leagues. And again, he's not playing every day. A leadoff walk. So Paulson will go to first, and he naturally represents the go-ahead run. And we told you about this earlier. Great to see Rexy back. Rex brothers over the last month really throwing the baseball well for the Isotopes. And Rex was brought back to the big leagues today. Aaron Laffey, who got his first victory in nearly 3 years yesterday, was designated for assignment. And Rex getting loose. Talked to him briefly this morning. Had an opportunity last week when I was in Albuquerque, taking a few days off, to visit with him for an extended period of time. And you could just see the gleam in his eye. Jeff, you played the game for a long time, and you know when a guy was searching, and they wear it on their face. Rex felt like he was in a great place physically and mentally. And he said, when I have walked a couple guys lately, he goes, it's close misses. It's not the wild misses that I was suffering through in spring training and in April in Albuquerque.
2 things. One, Rex never lost his stuff. He might have lost some of the command, but he never lost the live fastball.
DJ fouls this one off, but it's playable, and no communication there until late. Siriaco made the catch. Siriaco and Chris Johnson. Remember, they shuffle guys around on that right side, and both of those guys either didn't hear each other or neither one really made the call.
Or you kind of forget where, who's playing where. Siriaco's looking for the stands. Chris Johnson.
And Chris wouldn't have caught it.
No, that was going to be a foot away from him, and Pedro reaches out and makes the play. Now, just one final thought. He's talking about Rex never lost his stuff. The second thing, I think we saw that with Drew Stubbs when he came back. They're just a different guy. And this game will beat you up. It'll humble you, all the things. It's a hard game, folks. And then when it gets mental, then you need to take a breather.
Well, you can put a good face on things, but certainly teammates know. And if you're around guys enough, you can see the difference between a confident face, a confident demeanor, and one that's a little bit down, a little bit off, realizing they're searching. And Rex had that focus again and had that look in his eye that he was ready to return to what he did a couple years ago when he was one of the top left-handed relievers in the game. So now the Rockies have 4 lefties in the bullpen.
Yeah, how many times do you see that?
You have Boone Logan, you have Christian Friedrich, you have the long man Johan Flande, and now you have Rex. Good pitch, 0-2 on Barnes. Barnes a double and a strikeout. Descalso is in the on-deck circle for the moment. I say for the moment because if Barnes doesn't reach or Paulson somehow doesn't get the scoring position, you could see De La Rosa hit for himself.
Yeah, because his pitch count is still okay. I mean, it's not over the 100 pitch mark.
This is a ground ball to short. There's one and out at first base. So we'll never know. 6-4-3 on the turn. And we'll turn to the 7th inning. Rockies 2, Braves 2 on a Saturday afternoon at 20th and Blake. Strong fan, RM Data Strong Fan, and we'll get you an upcoming game broadcast. Well, the Rockies will make a change on the mound. De La Rosa again, terrific. 6 innings, just a couple of runs on 4 hits, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, and he'll give way to Rex Brothers.
As we were talking about, good to see Rex back in the big leagues. This will be his first appearance this year, but last year made 74 appearances in those 4-6, 5.59 ERA. Down with the Isotopes, 4-1, 3 saves, 32 ball games.
And you know what? It's obviously a very important time of the game. You're talking about a tie ball game, the 7th inning. But Walt's going to get him in this spot, facing the bottom third of a lineup. And he knows that, you know, Rex has been in these situations before. First pitch from Rex misses ball 1 at 93 miles an hour. Sometimes
you don't have a choice of when you're going to throw guys. Yeah, this is the best time because you are working with the bottom part of the lineup, but you know, that bullpen the last 2 days, you've used 11 guys out of there and a couple guys multiple days. So 14 different relievers, now make it 15 different guys out there in the last 3 days for Walt.
And he falls behind 3-0. He'll control the emotions. You know, he's going to have some nerves coming back. There's a strike, 3-1.
Didn't take anything off the fastball. In fact, increased it to 94.
Yeah, didn't try to guide it in there. Simmons walked in the 4th, also a ground out. That's a strike, 3-2. I don't know if that influences an umpire or not, but every time a guy, you know, gives that step like, oh, I walked twice in a row, I bet you it does a little bit.
I think it does. Because how many times you see it called a strike when he does that?
Ground ball to second.
Wow, tough hop.
Yeah, tough hop handled by DJ, but Jeff, I don't think you can overstate how important that was. First 3, especially given his history, first 3 miss, close misses, but they all miss. But then he comes back, pounds the strike zone, and gets a ground out. So he's got the first guy.
So it's for Rex. It's something to build on. And then the hop to DJ, it caught the lip of the grass. He thought it was going to come up, but watch it then just skip and stay down like they like to say, a worm burner. Just staying, hugging the ground.
That's when you find out if a guy has soft hands, right?
Yes, and quick reactions.
LaVarnway, a home run back in the third. That tied up the ball game. No scoring since that home run. Also a little tapper back to De La Rosa. Two and out.
Whistler still on deck. Showing 94 pitches.
That's 3-0 again.
You don't want to make a habit. First two batters, he's fallen behind 3-0. Came back to get Simmons.
And he walks LaVarnway.
As Perez comes to hit for Whistler, give me a chance to tell you that every Sunday home game this season is Bike to the Game, including tomorrow. Get more information at Rockies.com/green and Bike to the Game.
Had a beautiful ride this morning.
A little bit earlier with the GoPro on. That's the same GoPro you can give to Corey when he skydives.
I'll lend it to him.
It's right out in front of Coors Field.
Somebody cut in front of me coming up here. I had to ring my bell. Yuri Perez is the pinch hitter with one out. Pinch hitting for Whistler. And that's 5 straight out of the zone. So Mac's going to take his mask off, jog out. Military Appreciation Day. And this gentleman right there on the aisle seat, we've been told, a veteran of World War II and the Korean War as well. Thank you, sir.
Yes, indeed. Thank you.
That's right there at 95. So, to your point, and Walt said this afternoon when meeting with the media in his presser, he said Rex's stuff hasn't declined at all, but he's getting his command back. There's been no decline in his stuff. This one kicks away, and on a wild pitch, LaVarnway is now in scoring position.
Yeah, he just held on to that way too long. It's tough with LaVarnway at first. It's a slider. Doesn't have much speed. It's about the only way he's going to be able to advance. Michael did all he could to block it, but that hit 2+ feet out in front of home plate.
I'll tell you what, Rex is such a good guy, so well respected that, yeah, obviously he's a teammate. You're pulling for your teammate, but guys are really pulling for him.
Well, he never made excuses.
No, he misses up high, 3-1. Rafael Betancourt is firing in the Rockies bullpen, getting ready quickly.
We have 2 right-handers coming up next. Maben and Siriaco.
And a walk to Perez. So 2 on, and now the top of the order in Cameron Maben. Nolan Arenado, Troy Tulowitzki simultaneously turned to third base umpire Jeff Kellogg and called time. And Trying to calm him down a little bit. You know, it's one thing to go to a mound, a guy you don't really know. For instance, you know, last night, Herman, he did a great job. Gonzalez, Herman, first 3 innings. Detroit comes in there. I mean, he doesn't have a relationship with him. He just met him a couple hours ago.
Or
in
Aaron
the case,
Laffey.
or yeah, in the case of Rex, they know him. And part of this also, obviously, folks, is stall to get Betancourt enough pitches and see if now you can get the slow walk out to the mound. 2 on, 1 out. See if Walt comes out right now. No? Yeah, here he comes. I thought for a moment he was going to let it go, and now he's going to slowly walk out. He's going to double switch this. He's going to probably take Barnes out and bring Stubbs in. There's a pitcher spot leading off, and in a perfect world, if he wants to, maybe he can get extra outs out of Betancourt. So Drew Stubbs coming in, Barnes will come out, and Walt will take the baseball from Rex Brothers. So Rex jogs off with 2 on and 1 out in the 7th. Inning, Rafael Betancourt taking over. The day after every Rockies victory, get 50% off your online order at Papa John's. Promo code ROCKSWIN at papajohns.com. Drew Goodman, Jeff Hewson, and Mark Stout at Coors Field. It's been a well-pitched ball game. Rex Brothers made his return, and it was a little rough. He obviously was not throwing strikes. He had a wild pitch and 2 walks. Did get 1 out. So now Betancourt will try to clean things up. Drew Stubbs in the double switch goes into the ball game. He'll lead off next inning. Offensively, Brandon Barnes comes out.
It's been a day since Rafi has been out on the hill. He came out, and I really thought they might give him the W back on Thursday night because he pitched so well. An inning in the 3rd, had 3 punch outs, calmed the game down. Get a chance now, and that's the 25 pitches that he threw back on Thursday. Not much work in between Thursday and Saturday. He's fresh and ready to go this afternoon.
Now, Maben, if you're thinking double play, real tough guy to double up, and it's a breaking ball for a strike. Don't see that much from Rafi. I mean, you're looking at the scouting report. A lot of guys know Rafi. He's been around so long. They say, I'm going to get a first pitch fastball, and it's going to be away. Well, he threw that scouting report off, right?
Now for Cameron, what's he do? What's he thinking? Yeah, well, he threw me a curveball. He goes back to the fastball. What I thought I was going to get the first pitch, but 93 miles an hour on that last fastball.
Feeling frisky, man. He's getting the velo back he had when he wore younger man's shoes.
Because to start the year was 89, 90, might have touched 91.
The other day, the game you're referencing, he was 92 consistently, and he got 5 outs 2 days ago.
And he had that pinpoint control back.
0-2 on Maben. This ball to left. Drew Stubbs is there. He's got it. Go back to second, and they almost doubled off Lavarnway. I think off the bat, Lavarnway thought, oh, that's a base hit.
Either that or he thought there was 2 outs, because as far as he went, he was.
Well, I'm looking at Bo Porter right now. He's got hands on hips.
Watch how far. I mean, this is on the line, and Lavarnway is just taking off like there's 2 outs. I got to hustle back to the bag.
Huey, you're absolutely right. He forgot. He forgot. That's what you could just see his reaction. He thought, okay, it's fly ball left field. I'm going to third and then get my equipment on. Bo Porter looked at the dugout. He had hands on hips.
Not my fault. I let him know.
There's Bo. Two outs. Pedro Siriaco at the plate. For 3. He doubled to the left field corner in the 5th inning. This game will be decided by the bullpens. De La Rosa, 6 innings, allowing 2 runs, 4 hits, couple walks, 7 strikeouts. Matt Whistler will go 6 innings, allowing a couple runs on 6 hits. He walked 3, 1 intentionally. He also struck out 7. One on Siriaco. Good block by McHenry.
Looks like it'll be Vizcaino for Atlanta to come in bottom half of the 7th.
And the Rockies saw Vizcaino yesterday. That has not been a strength of this Atlanta club, their bullpen, other than Jason Grilli in the 9th.
They just shipped a couple guys out on Sunday night after the game, one including Nick Masson, former Rocky.
Here's the 1-1. This is popped up playable behind first. Paulson and DJ with his gold glove grabs it. Rafael Betancourt to the rescue. He gets a couple outs with 2 men on. We'll stretch at Coors Field, the 2-2 affair. you'll learn more about Brandon Barnes. You'll like everything you learn about him. He's a great guy. He'll take you to a tattoo shop. You know, Brandon's got a few tattoos. And you'll also hear from his teammates about the infectious energy that he brings on and off the field. What a good man, Brandon Barnes. That's the focus tonight on Rockies Real Time after the post-game show. Rockies and Atlanta Braves tied at 2. Rockies have won 4 straight against Atlanta overall. 2 straight in this series. How was that, Huey?
Your form?
Yeah, the form.
That's good.
Not bad, right?
Not bad at all.
Not bad. I wish they flew further.
I know. Well, you
got to
get
the people in the
but you got to flatten them out.
Is that,
you got to flatten them out.
technique?
Yeah, yeah.
You'd think after 14 years we'd have this down.
Yeah, I know.
Where's our intern, Monica? You got to throw some out?
Come on, we got a bunch
Don't be
left. We got to go.
camera shy.
We got to go. Rapid fire.
They throw a lot of frisbees at Pepperdine. Come on. You just hit somebody in the head. Okay. Here you go. One more. It's been a good ball game. Jorge De La Rosa was outstanding. Matt Whistler, good-looking young prospect, 22-year-old for the Atlanta Braves, was very good as well. Arodys Vizcaíno will take over. And for the Rockies, Drew Stubbs will lead it off, and then it's the top of the order. Drew just came back into the ball. He can't re-enter. He just came into the ball game in that double switch when Betancourt came in for Brothers. Barnes left the contest. Ball 1 on Drew. I'll tell you what, there's a strike. Maben is shaded toward right center field. Drew hit a home run there the other day. And playing straight up left field is Johnny Gomes. So in other words, if Stubbs hits one to left center, it's an easy triple. And the way Drew runs, who knows? Could be more than that. Cameron Maben and Johnny Gomes, they need binoculars to see each other.
And that's where Descalso hit a triple last night in that left center field gap. As Charlie comes to the plate, a perfect time for us to tell you that the first 10,000 fans through the gates on Friday, July 24th, will receive a Charlie Blackmon bobblehead courtesy of 850 KOA Rockies Radio and Country Financial.
Rockies with runners on base today, 1 for 12. The one was the Cargo 2-run home run in the first inning. Charlie's had a real good day again. He's 2 for 3. The Braves are 0 for 4. They haven't had many opportunities. One on Blackmon. Charlie with 11 home runs. He went. Arodys Vizcaíno from San Cristobal in the Dominican Republic, 24-year-old, originally signed by the Yankees.
Some young, powerful arms. Most of those are in the starting rotation. They've got 28 wins from their starters at 24 years of age or younger. More than anybody else in baseball. The next closest would be the Cardinals, who have 20.
Rockies got after one of those young arms. Their lone all-star, Shelby Miller. He gave up a career-high 11 hits.
And a season-high 5 runs.
In 5 innings. 2-2. 3-2. This ball ripped to right. It's going to stay fair and roll to the corner. At least 2 for Charlie. How about 3? Blackmon a triple. That extra 90 feet, Jeff Houston, is huge with 1 out.
And you have Nolan coming up to drive him in, so that is so important. And you got just a small amount of help in right field from Nick Markakis as this goes off the wall. First the pitch on the Subaru Supermo. 4-seam fastball, belt high. Boy, Charlie staying through that in the finish. And then out of the gate running hard. Already creating his angle to second base. But watch Markakis. Didn't know how, he's not familiar with this ballpark. Tries to barehand a rolling baseball. It goes off his hand behind him, allowing Charlie to get that extra 90 feet. Whoa. And they're going to walk.
How about this? They're going to try to set up the double play, but they're inviting Troy Tulowitzki to the plate with the go-ahead run here in the bottom of the 7th at 3rd.
But the last 2 pitches they tried to throw on the intentional pass, they were almost strikes. They didn't miss by much.
That one was pretty close too.
I mean, if you're going to intentionally walk somebody, they shouldn't even be on that forward strike zone area.
I know it's been done before where guys will reach out and
I've seen it happen.
Base hits.
Yeah.
You've seen it at the big league level.
At the big league level.
It takes a lot of chutzpah though to do it, because if you make an out there,
true.
Especially with this guy on deck, Freddie Gonzalez. What do they say? Picture paints 1,000 words.
It's Roger McDowell.
Worth 1,000 words. So Tulo 0 for 3. He has a 21-game hitting streak on the line, but more importantly to him right now is finding a way to get Charlie Blackmon the last 90 feet in a 2-2 game in the bottom of the 7th. Strikeout, strikeout, fly ball to right field, all against Matt Wisler.
And he really did pick up the ball very well against Wisler, but by taking that first pitch from Vizcaino, a better approach.
Arodys Vizcaino, and here's the 1-0, and Troy had himself a hat.
And it wasn't an overly aggressive one. It was put it in play, at least get the sac fly. Just bottom half of the ball, and then fouled it straight back.
And that's what he's trying to hit.
And that's how you do it. You try to hit the bottom half so you get the elevation.
1-2.
Now you go into battle mode. Just protect.
Kicks away. Nolan had a thought of going to second, but quick to the baseball was Lavarnway. And
that's wise.
Better to be conservative there, because if you get thrown out, now you need a hit to bring home Charlie at third.
Nolan secondary, and then had the right idea. Go ahead and take a couple steps, but Ryan hopped on it too quick.
Swung on and missed. Tulowitzki goes down, and Freddie Gonzalez going to come out and get a left-hander for Cargo.
Well, he's just matching up now because he only has one left-hander in his bullpen.
Got to play it now. So we'll step aside. 2 on, 2 outs when we come back for Cargo. Warming up. Rockies have runners at first and third with 2 gone in the 7th. Luis Avilan is the only left-hander in the bullpen for Freddie Gonzalez. Now what's interesting is, and you see it on the bottom portion of your screen, lefties are hitting .317 against him in more than 60 at bats.
And his ERA out on the road is .528 compared to .245 at home. So obviously you're just playing the left-on-left matchup. Cargo's 0 for 2 in his career against Luis. But this is going to be, I'm playing my only card that I have out in that bullpen to match up with Carlos.
Cargo did face Vizcaino yesterday and flew out to very deep center field. Maybe Freddie was influenced a little bit by that. But, you know, the book, though nobody's ever seen a copy of it, says you bring in your left-hander late in the ball game to match up. So here we go. It's Avilan against Cargo. Cargo a 2-run home run, a strikeout, and an intentional walk. And he has been obviously swinging the bat much better of late, and also much better against lefties. Takes a strike. Big arm for Avilan, the native of Caracas, Venezuela. That was a 95-mile-an-hour heater.
His second best pitch is a changeup. That's where he's getting the right-handers out. He won't throw it to left-handers, so he'll have to go to a curveball or a slider.
And Cargo bounces this foul ball. Corey Blazer was studying it carefully, and of course the first baseman Chris Johnson, a veteran guy, trying to influence Corey by where he fielded it.
He looked like an NFL wide receiver as he's trying to hold on to the ball before he went out of bounds.
Yeah.
Both feet. He's thinking, if I have both feet in bounds, does that count? No, it doesn't. Watch this. Both feet in bounds. Head control, but it was a foul ball. That's where the ball is. Chris trying to sell it.
So Cargo, like Tulo a moment ago, has to go into that battle mode, down 2 strikes. Blackman a 1-out triple. Arenado was passed on. 0-2. And Avilan strikes out Cargo. Tulowitzki goes down against Vizcaino, and the Rockies waste a great opportunity in the 7th to take the lead. So it remains 2 apiece as we go to the 8th. Check our CenturyLink link to what's next tomorrow, final ball game before the All-Star break, and the Rockies will send Chad Bettis to the mound. Alex Wood, who was the starting pitcher in the game that was delayed by 2 hours and 6 minutes after it started the other day, will take the baseball for the Braves. Obviously Chad trying to push the delete button from his last outing.
And that's all you can do when you give up 10 10 earnings, a couple innings of work.
Angels got to him. Everything that was up was hit hard. It was the day that Trout hit a 3-run home run and Pujols hit a 3-run home run. In the 8th inning, Nick Markakis, Chris Johnson, Juan Uribe against Rafael Betancourt. He got the final 2 outs of the 7th inning. Picked up Rex Brothers.
They've only thrown 6 pitches last inning.
That's in there. Remember yesterday, it was funny. LaTroy Hawkins had the comebacker off the bat of A.J. Pierzynski, his former teammate for a long time in Minnesota. Well, I asked LaTroy about that conversation as Pierzynski went by. I'll show it to you again. 2-1. This is a pretty key situation. Tight ball game. AJ's up there and hits a comebacker. LaTroy turns it into a 1-6-3 double play. LaTroy's barking at Pierzynski. Pierzynski turns and says something, and then LaTroy's at the plate and he takes the first 2 fastballs and then he fires at that one, and then he says, "All right, I'm done," and he jogs off. This is a base hit by Markakis. So the Braves have the leadoff man on. So LaTroy said, I'm going to clean this up naturally, family program. He was yelling at AJ. He goes, "There are 8 other guys out there. You can't hit it at somebody else?" And Pierzynski said, "Get out of the way." He goes, "I couldn't."
Right back at his stomach.
He goes, "It's right back at my stomach." And those 2 guys are good friends. And then he comes up to the plate the next inning, and he watches 2 pitches go by. Remember, we were remarking that, you know, he's not going to swing, and he didn't have batting gloves on. And LaTroy's philosophy was, he goes, "I can't get hurt." It's only his 9th plate appearance, and he's been in the game for 47 years.
Over 1,000 games.
And AJ was barking at him so much. This ball is down the right field line. This is deep. Hold on. Get foul. It's off the wall. Fair. Cargo's got it. Markakis out at second base. Markakis got to third. Johnson cut down by Cargo.
And that's how you play a ball in right field off the wall. Chris Johnson hits it about halfway up. Cargo reaches for it with his glove, and then one hops to Troy, who applies the tag. Watch this, quick, catch it, gather yourself, and then show off the laser of an arm. And we're kind of stalling here because the Braves are trying to see if they want to challenge it. They did just ask for a review.
So it's time for a Subaru review. Whether you're on the road or at the game, everybody could use a second set of eyes. Cargo made one of his cargo throws.
And what they're going to be looking at was the tag on the hip applied before that hand reached the bag.
Mark Rippinger is making the call.
We've had a couple close calls today. We had the one with Nolan at second base when he went diving in. Mark was on top of that one. Again, he didn't wait to, maybe didn't make the call too early. He waited to see what was happening. I'm not sure from that angle you can tell if there's enough to overturn it.
Yeah, that's what we say so frequently. That the good news is, because it went the Rockies' way, that it doesn't seem like there's enough evidence, at least on the shots we've seen, where you can say definitively, no, he had the hand in first.
It's Chris Johnson who hit the ball to right field and then tried to test the armor cargo. Still can't tell watching it up on the big board here, the replays we've had. But you didn't see any reaction from Chris Johnson, and he is out.
Well, that's big. 1 out. Go-ahead run at third base. So you still have to bring the infield in. And you have a guy who's swinging the bat really well this afternoon at the plate in Juan Uribe.
They're going to put him on.
They're going to set up a double play possibility with Johnny Gomes. I'll tell you what, so while they put Uribe on, I'll finish that story. So Hawks at the plate, and Przinsky's wearing him out for not swinging, and Hawkins had no intention to swing. He said, I can't get hurt. And he said, he was giving me such a hard time, I finally said, the heck with it. And that's why he swung at that 0-2 pitch and he fouled it back.
So he shamed him into it.
He shamed him into it. And then he turned to Przinsky and he said, if I get hurt, he goes, I'm going to kill you and then I'm kill myself for getting hurt.
And then he jogged off the field after he struck out.
And he said, and I asked him about that. And he goes, I want to show everybody that was a good college try. He goes, that's what they do in college. Because Tulo came over to him and said something. He goes, yeah, it's a good college try. LaTroy, 42 years of age, hitless in his career, and 8 official at bats. He does have 1 sack bunt. He's not concerned about whether or not he gets another plate appearance in this his final season. So Gomes will be called back. Kelly Johnson is going to pinch hit, and now Walt will come out and he'll counter and bring in Christian Friedrich. The chess game between Walt Weiss and Freddie Gonzalez continues here in the late innings of a 2-2 ball game. Lines, book your low fare now at southwest.com. By Mike Shaw Subaru, always our lowest price and sales and service guaranteed. And by Saratoga Casino, so new, so you. I love the zoo. Giraffes munching away. We have one of the great zoos in the country.
Yes, we do.
In the Denver Zoo. 2-2, first and third, 1 out in the 8th inning. Christian Friedrich against the pinch hitter Kelly Johnson. So the corners are in even, and the middle infielders at double play depth.
You have the left-on-left matchup that you want. Christian allowing just a .234 batting average against left-handers. Now these two have matched up. They matched up on Thursday night. Kelly Johnson got a little bloop single to center field off of Christian. That was in the 4th inning on Thursday night's affair.
Now it's 2-0. Two balls and a strike. Johnson waves at that one.
Since coming out of the pen more often for Christian, he's fastball slider. Doesn't throw that curveball much at home, at least. More out on the road.
Ground ball not hit hard. Paulson fires back to third. Safe. And now Ben Paulson and a couple other Rockies looking to Walt Weiss. Brian Jones will review it to see if the call was accurate. Paulson did the right thing, didn't he, Jeff?
Yeah, he looked, and there was plenty of room for him to go to third base. But he didn't go right away. He looked at home first, thinking that's where the runner was going to be. And then Nolan tries to apply the tag. And from that angle, it looks like the hand is in there before the tag gets down.
Now they're going to take a look at it. Walt's asked him to take a look at it.
I mean, it's worth it.
Again, it's time for a Subaru review. Whether you're on the road or at the game, everybody could use a second set of eyes. Well, if the call stands, it'll be bases loaded, 1 out. Andrelton Simmons coming up.
And Nolan signaled to the dugout, yeah, make a call, and then he kind of shook his glove like, I'm not quite sure. You see him throw his hand up.
Based on that
angle,
look
looks like
right there.
Looks like he's safe. He got the hand back in. Because you can already see the flex in the elbow. Elbow starts to come up in the body.
It's kind of the same thing as we were just saying a moment ago. The one that went the Rockies' way. Looks like that one would be tough to overturn. And that one went the Braves' direction.
I will say this for this umpiring crew, they've been on top of every call, only about 3 or 4 feet away in the right position. That's what I said about Nolan. Check it. I'm not sure.
Safe. So the bases are loaded after the fielder's choice, and Simmons is coming up. So you have Markakis at third, Uribe at second,
and a guy that can
Johnson
bunt
at first. Yep, and Simmons a bat handler at the plate.
I think it may be just a squeeze or a safety squeeze.
Well, it's a little. You know, if you go safety squeeze with the bases loaded,
be a little bit more challenge.
Yeah, it's a real risky play because all you got to do is, get to it and flip it to the catcher. He doesn't have to apply a tag. You just got to.
But I mean, or if he was going to lay down a bunt, try to get a base hit to sneak attack.
Yeah.
Not a true safety squeeze.
He's fouled off. 1-1. Simmons 0 for 2 and a walk.
Simmons has grounded into the most double plays on the Braves staff, 15.
Somewhat surprising. misses. So go over the middle infield depth, Huey, for people, because
it's a 3 depth. You know, it's meaning we're not all the way in because we still want some range. If it's hit hard enough, we can turn it up the middle. Those guys are talking to each other right now. But if it's more of a 2 or 3 hopper where you have to come get it, then you come home and get the force out there.
This is popped up to shallow center. Coming hard is Blackman, and he makes the catch and quickly fires to the plate. No advancement, no attempted advancement by Markakis, and now they're 2 outs. That was large.
And Matt giving Christian a pat on the back. And way to go. You got the 2nd out. I was watching DJ because that's a hard play for him. You're playing in, you don't have as much range going back, but Charlie did the right thing, calling everybody off. He has his momentum going to the plate.
And Cargo was right there also.
But Cargo still had to turn halfway if he's going to make that throw to home. Easier play for Charlie.
In fact, if DJ was forced to make that play, you probably send the runner.
Yes, you would.
Ryan Lavarnway. Strike 1 on Lavarnway, the backup catcher. He's the reason it's nail-biting time in the 8th. He hit a home run, a solo shot to tie the game at 2 in the 3rd, and that's where we stand right now. 2 outs in the 8th. Bases loaded for Atlanta. Here's the 0-1 from Friedrich. One. Swung on and missed. 1-2.
Nasty pitch. And Ryan way out in front. Hard biting slider right out of the hand on the Subaru Supermo. Really have to finish that pitch. Those kids were just giving Christian a strikeout sign. Go ahead.
One-two. Swung on and missed. He got him. What a job by Christian Friedrich. Bases loaded, 1 out. He gets the pop-up by Simmons, and he punches out Lavarnway, and it remains 2-2. Just witnessed it. Christian Friedrich, high fastball. He gets Simmons to pop up the shallow center. Marquez couldn't advance, and then he strikes out LeVarn Way with a curveball down and in. Huge. Out of baby Christian. Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Now get him a run. As we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, Kelly Johnson stays in the ball game. He's in left field. Michael McHenry leading off against the former Baltimore closer Jim Johnson.
For 2 years with Baltimore, you see the switches with Kelly Johnson, Jim Johnson, but 2 years in Baltimore, 2012 and 2013, 51 saves, 50 saves.
Boy, relieving's a funny business, isn't it, Huey? You're on top of the world. Next thing you know, you're in a different city in a different role.
43 appearances. That's tied for second most in the major leagues. Also has 20 holds.
Well, the Rockies had a great opportunity last inning. They had runners at first and third with Tulowitzki up and 1 out. Tulowitzki struck out against Vizcaíno. They brought in Avilan to face Cargo, and Avilan struck out Cargo. Well, the Braves just had a great opportunity, and they could not score. McHenry drives this ball to fairly deep left field, but he got it off the end of the bat a little bit, and Kelly Johnson makes the catch.
Because it was a curveball. 80-mile-an-hour curveball. Kelly Johnson just went in the game. The switch with Johnny Gomes.
Oh boy, that's not good. D. Gordon, all-star D. Gordon, had to leave today's game in the 7th inning with a dislocated left thumb.
I hate to hear that.
Yeah. This ball is flared short, and Ben Paulson's retired. You know, that could, and this is not how Troy would want to go to the All-Star game, but if that is a significant injury, you could see Tulowitzki added to the roster. But you hope, as a fan, and D. Gordon's a great young kid, you hope D. Gordon's okay, and it's just a, if it's a dislocation, it can't be good, but you get my point.
I understand what you're saying, and for Tulo, he was the only position player on that extra vote list. The other 4 guys were pitchers. So it would seem logical that he would be the next man up.
Yeah. DJ at the plate takes a strike. Way inside. Right now, if Freddie Gonzalez goes to the top step and yells Johnson, you know, 6 guys are going to turn their head. You got a Johnson in left, you got a Johnson in first, you got a Johnson on the mound.
You need a sign saying, hello, my name is Chris or Jim or Kelly.
Tell you what could impact the guy at the plate also. We're talking about D. Gordon if he's unavailable for the All-Star game. You can see DJ all of a sudden in the starting lineup. I would think, since it's Bruce Bochy's team, he would go with Joe Panik. Joe Panik, by the way, had 4 more hits last night, including a home run.
Yeah, you probably go with your own guy first.
And a base hit for DJ. So the go-ahead run aboard with 2 outs. And the Rockies.
Well, they had Descalso on the on-deck. I imagine they're going to go with the bull, though.
You got a guy on the mound who is a closer. We were just talking about it. Closers don't hold runners typically. 2 outs. You got a guy who's a good base stealer at first. I'm thinking you run early in the count here, don't you?
Yeah, I'm with you and on your thought process, what you're thinking. But then if he were to be thrown out, then you've lost your pinch hitter. So I mean, that's the choice you take. But would you rather have a guy in scoring position? I would.
I think if you're putting Rosario up, though, I'm with you. You're saying I'm going to let Willeen get 3 swipes. I think if you went Descalso, who's less likely to hit the ball out of the ballpark, and less likely to produce an extra base hit, though we've seen him do it recently. I think that's more of a steal situation.
And a left-handed hitter to block the catcher's view for the base runner at first base.
Yep, little added bonus. Willeen takes ball 1. Sitting fastball, you got a breaking ball, so it's 1-1.
If it gets 2 strikes, I think all bets are off. Then I would try to steal a base.
Sharply hit. Simmons with the sure hands flips to second, and that ends the inning. So we'll go to the 9th. The Rockies and Braves remain tied at 2. It's been tied since the 3rd inning.
Kavanaugh, Ryan Spilborgs, and Jason Hirsch out in center field with you. It's Military Appreciation Day here at Coors Field, so we'll stick with that theme as we tell you what's coming up on the Toyota postgame show. We're going to do a little flying cargo. That's who got scoring started. Carlos Gonzalez back-to-back games of home runs.
I like it. Yeah, we're doing stars and strikes. Jorge De La Rosa continues his dominance at home with 7 strikeouts.
And I'm going to go Alpha Bravo Charlie. Charlie with 3 hits today, and we need some more, too.
That's right. The Rockies need to score. Roger that, Drew and Jeff? Yeah, I got a good chuckle out of Huey.
Let me ask you this, honestly. How long did you guys rehearse that?
Probably,
3 times.
Well, we didn't rehearse it that much, but coming up with the topicals probably took 5 innings.
Alpha Bravo Charlie.
Outstanding.
Nice work, everybody.
Oh, yes, thank you. Hard at work.
See you guys in a little bit. LaTroy Hawkins on the hill for the Rockies, and it'll be 9-1-2. See a pinch hitter, and then Cameron Maben for Atlanta here in the top of the 9th inning.
The pinch hitter will be Jace Peterson, the left-hander. And this will be kind of a first for Hawk. He's facing somebody that he hasn't faced before in the Braves lineup. This will be the first appearance against Jace Peterson. Most of the other guys he has a little history with.
So Louisiana native Chase Peterson at the plate. Started at second base, first 2 ball games of the series. And he is typically a leadoff hitter. First pitch from Hawks in there for a strike. Had an interesting conversation. Obviously, got a number of topics this morning. Funny bit with A.J. Brzezinski both in the field and at the plate. And also some of the advice he imparts to young pitchers. Hawk grabs the 1 out. And one of the things he says is, listen, I'm a guy that gives up hits. I can't walk guys. Now, if you're a big stuff guy where you get strikeouts, he goes, maybe you can afford a walk here and there if you don't give up a lot of hits. He goes, but it can't be both.
You can't do that. You can put an extra guys on there, and then they give up the hit. Then it's multiple runs.
And it was a conversation he was having with Scott Oberg. And he's, taking Scott under his wing, and Scott has great stuff. He was sent out today. Actually, yesterday. Said, keep your head up. He goes, listen, I went back and forth my first couple of years, didn't stick around full time until '97. He said it is part of the process.
I went back and forth a couple of years too.
Maben 0 for 4, 10-game hitting streak coming in.
But that at bat by Jace Peterson, that was the 1,160th different batter that LaTroy has faced.
That's a strike, 1 and 2.
95.
Yeah, Hawks. We said it, man. He's got the fountain of youth, man. He can still bring it.
Just needs to bottle it and sell it. A lot of guys that still want to be playing.
And a ground ball to second.
He went with the quick pitch.
Yeah. He's got the timing off of Maben enough. 2 outs. Tell you what, Maben, as he jogs off, shares something with Darren Holmes. They're both from the beautiful town of Asheville, North Carolina. Went to the same high school, different times. T.C. Roberson High in Asheville. Darren's got a few years on
just a
Cameron.
couple. Just a couple.
Rockies, longtime affiliate in the Sally League in Asheville. Tourists. Pedro Siriaco, 1 for 4. Takes ball 1. Two runs, 8 hits for the Rockies, 2 runs, 6 hits for the Braves. The Rockies in the 9th inning will have Drew Stubbs, Charlie Blackmon, Nolan Arenado.
Today's starter, Matt Whistler.
That is, you know what? And Hawks used to hearing those stories. Guys who weren't born yet. When you think about his career, there's that great piece you alluded to done by Benjamin Hockman and Nick Groke that you'll read in tomorrow's Sunday Post. Hawk was teammates with Paul Molitor. Paul was born in '56. Now he's got teammates born in the '90s, right? So here we go. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th. The Rockies need just 1. Nolan Arenado will be hitting 3rd in the inning. need just a run to shake hands, put a smile on everybody's face. Crowd of more than 40,000 here on a Saturday afternoon at Coors Field. Who wants tacos? Fans, follow @RootSports_RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies taco special when the Rockies score 7 or more in a ball game. Well, Atlanta is going to go with their closer here on the road, and it's just because he hasn't worked the last couple days. That's normally not how you do it, but Jason Grilli is going to come on, the former Rocky, a guy that had great success with Clint Hurdle in Pittsburgh. Good success here, and Grilli's had a good year closing games for Atlanta.
Those 24 saves for Jason Grilli, that ties him with John Smoltz and Craig Kimbrell, one of 3 Braves to have at least 24 saves in the first half. So that tells you what kind of season he has had.
Here's Drew Stubbs. Drew takes strike 1. You know what's really unusual about this game? And we've been saying it the last couple of days, where the Rockies have 5 runs in each of the last 2 days, but a ton of hits. 5 runs, 12 hits yesterday. 5 runs, 16 hits a couple days ago. Today, not as many hits, 8 hits, but they've had at least 1 base runner in every single inning. And yet they have only 2 runs.
10 guys left on base already. It's not coming up with the key hit, and you don't have to go any further than the 7th inning.
You just need a fly ball.
Yeah, fly ball, put a ball in play, anything. And you had a runner at third base, or also at second, but with just 1 out.
Stubbs, ground ball, right side. This is a foot rake. Oh, wow.
Jesse
Grilli
got
went
hurt.
down. Oh, man.
No.
He went down, and he is hurt.
He got about halfway to first, and then he just fell.
Here he is breaking for the bag. Who, you know, the way
maybe an Achilles.
Yeah, the way you think Achilles, but he's grabbing his shin. I mean, who knows? I'll tell you what, man, that is
heartbreaking.
Yeah. They have the cart ready down the left field line.
They're bringing it out now.
They're going to bring it out. Now, I know that Jason's dad, Steve, who lives up in Syracuse, looks in at virtually every game, and I don't know if he's got the Braves broadcast this afternoon or ours, but it's tough to watch your kid down. Steve, a former big leaguer.
There was nobody better in the clubhouse when Jason was here.
Yeah, now Huey, now he's holding the back of the again, it's foolish to speculate, but when you see guys, you know, that type of reaction, a lot of times it is the Achilles. Jason Grilly,
hope for the best,
goes off. David Aardsma is going to replace him on the mound. And the Rockies, when we return, will have in the bottom of the 9th inning, Drew Stubbs with great speed at first base. Line. I'm sure a lot of those fans, whether or not he played for the Rockies or not, aware that he's a former Rocky, and hopefully it's not as serious as it looked. The Rockies trying to build the game-winning run. Drew Stubbs, wonderful speed, world-class speed at first base. Charlie Blackmon at the plate. David Aardsma, the former Cherry Creek standout, is on the mound. Aardsma threw in the ball game on Thursday.
Gave up a hit, had a walk, a strikeout in 1 inning.
Charlie faced him and had a base hit against him. Charlie fouls that bunt off. Bunted in the air.
Not a real good bunt to try to pull the first base. So it's up and away from you. Those are the ones you will pop up. It is hard for a player after you see an injury, somebody maybe you played against, but you see him go down, they have to cart him off to then just refocus back into the game. I mean, it was very quiet here for 5 minutes. And you see the guy taking off on the field. Now okay, I got to get back into the game again.
And that hit Blackmon. So that'll push Stubbs to scoring position. What a game for Charlie Blackmon. What a game for a guy who is a gamer. 3 hits today, 2 singles, a triple, and he just rolled his shoulder at that pitch up and in, and that is the proverbial take one for the team.
And he did. Didn't really pull the elbow back. He's down in the count 0-2. I didn't get the bunt down. I better wear it and take that base to first.
It's huge. And now Nolan with a chance to drive in Stubbs and have the Rockies walk off winners against the Braves. 2-2 in the ninth, nobody out. Great speed on base. And Nolan, that probably shocked a lot of people. Looked to bunt. On his own, or you think that was from the dugout?
I think that was on his own. I mean, a guy that's tied for the league in RBIs. He has 3 career walk-off hits, including the last one, May 20th of last year.
And here's the kind of pressure Stubbs puts on the outfield. They've had to shorten up because on a base hit, to have any shot, you have to move in with Stubbs. Line drive left field, foul. You have an 0-2 count. So as a base runner here, Huey, you're thinking breaking ball count. You get a dirt ball.
Yeah, you have to. You always anticipate a ball down in the dirt. That way you're not caught by surprise and have that 1 second delay in your head. LaVarnway is a real good receiver back there, and he can throw. He's got a plus arm. So if you go, you have to make sure that it's 100%. It can't be 99%.
Well, Walt couldn't have handpicked a better guy to be the winning run at second in Drew Stubbs.
Not at all. Yeah, you got former track star.
And a strikeout of Arenado. So here comes Tulowitzki, and the beautiful thing about this game, as painful as it can be, it sometimes, rather frequently, actually gives you an opportunity to make amends. He had an opportunity to give the Rockies the lead in his last at bat and struck out, and now he has a chance to give the Rockies the victory. Roger McDowell comes running out to the mound.
We're just going over scatter reports. Also just saw Paul Emmel signal into the Rockies dugout to have them turn on the stadium lights.
Yeah, all of a sudden some clouds have moved in overhead. It is a whole lot darker than it was about 40 seconds ago. The Rockies are 1 for 16 today with runners on base, not in scoring position, just on base. And I said this at the start of the inning. The Rockies have had base runners in all 9 innings, yet the only time they scored was in the first on a 2-out, 2-run home run by Cargo. That's it. We've had some mild threats and some significant threats in the ensuing innings, but they have not scored. Tulo, 21-game hitting streak, 0 for 4. Looking for any kind of knock. Outside, ball 1.
And if you're Stu, you're going to be aggressive. You're a base hit. Go ahead and just send him. You got good speed. The best arm is in right field, Markakis.
That misses 2-0.
And just remember, too, that if Troy gets on, you have the bases loaded. They don't have a left-hander left in their bullpen to face Cargo. They used that. They burned it in the 7th.
(2-0) to Tulowitzki. Now he's sold out on the fastball. And he got an off-speed pitch, a slider, and it's 2-1.
With the arm action of David Aardsma, started it looking like a strike, and then the last 5 to 7 feet, the bottom dropped out.
Troy walked against Aardsma 2 days ago. 2-1. The dirt, but handled by LaVarnway. 3-1.
Troy got a 2-0 slider. See if he gets a 3-1 slider.
I know that feeling.
See, the other glove looked better. There's some holes in it so you can actually see through it.
Here's the 3-1. Pulled foul. 3-2. So important also, Charlie is able to get a big lead here and a great secondary because Chris Johnson's playing way behind him. It's important because when you get a ball on the ground, it really gives Charlie an opportunity to get into a middle infielder trying to turn two.
Disrupt the timing of that middle infielder.
1 out. Winning run at second in Drew Stubbs. Bottom of the 9th inning. Now Troy is granted time.
He just wasn't set because Artsman had already gotten the sign and it looked like he was getting ready to pitch. Troy didn't have the preparation that you need in the box.
Here's the 3-2. Ball 4, and now the winning run's 90 feet away. Freddie Gonzalez is going to make a move with Carlos Gonzalez coming up. And again, he does not have a left-hander available. The plot thickens.
MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live Rockies baseball. At bat is up to the minute with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, statcasts, and more. Get MLB.com at bat now. And how about back in the first inning for Carlos Gonzalez? What a shot it was to dead center field. And this was a blast to give the Rockies an early 2-0 lead. And now he has a chance to be a hero again against Mike Foltynewicz.
Well, he faced Mike Foltynewicz 2 days ago and doubled to left against him. I would think the reasoning for Freddie Gonzalez, you know, Artsman's a right-hander, Foltynewicz a right-hander. Foltynewicz strikes out a hitter an inning, basically. And that's what they need right here. The only other thing would be a double play. This ball is popped up shallow left center. Who knows? And it's going to drop. Here comes Stubbs. Rockies will win it. Wasn't pretty, but it works. Rockies win 3-2.
That's why you have to get it in play. What do you think about 130 feet on that single?
You know, you and I obviously were looking going up, and you're saying this one may work. Even if the shortstop Simmons makes the catch, his momentum's headed out toward left center field. You have Stubbs on third.
And you can't call the infield fly rule because it was too far out.
Nope.
It is not a regular play. They're playing at the double play depth. But Simmons was going to call it. I don't think Cameron Maben called him off, and then the bobble and slip. Either way, you take it because you're walking off, shaking hands, and giving high fives and some hugs. Drew's thinking he's got a slide. He doesn't come standing up.
Crazy game, isn't it? But you'll take it. The Rockies have won the first 3 in this series against the Braves. 5-3, 5-3, and in the ninth, 3-2. And now overall, they've won 5 consecutive games against the Atlanta Braves. Wow, what a wild ninth inning. And all the pieces were working out for the Rockies, because you have Drew Stubbs, the infield hit. Unfortunate that Jason Grilli got hurt on that play. Good at bat from Troy Tulowitzki. I passed the baton at bat.
Both of those guys had a chance in the 7th. They didn't come through. Both of them struck out. What happened? This time Troy, he walks to set up the drama, and then Cargo, first pitch, didn't hit it hard, didn't hit it far, but far enough to get the RBI, and you're walking off 3-2, and you got some smiles.
That's exactly right. And I know he has a smile on his face right now. Mark Stout is with him.
Carlos said to me, is that a hit? That was your first question to me?
I don't know. You tell me. The wind's not blowing in left field, so.
You saw that guy the other night. You went that way to left field. Were you just trying to get a first pitch and get the bat on the ball?
Yeah, I was just trying to get barrel, you know. The guy throws gas, so he's going to supply the power. He came in on that pitch. I was able to, you know, get a little bit of barrel and good enough to win the game. So, you know, a great comeback for us. Great job by the pitching. You know, the bullpen, Friedrich, they did a tremendous job. And we played really good defense today, so it's fun to watch.
Carlos, what are you thinking? You're on deck, and then Freddie Gonzalez comes out, makes a pitching change. Did you expect that, first of all? And then what are you thinking? You have to kind of revamp.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have much time when they make pitching change. You have to come in here in the dugout and talk to the hitting coach, Blake, and, you know, just give him a little bit of scouting report. We already seen these guys during the series, and, you know, you just got to get ready and, you know, expect to get the job done.
See, the way baseball works, too, is I know you hit a home run in the first inning, but that hit might as well be a home run.
That's better than a home run. Game winner.
Hey, enjoy this. You guys get a series win, so congrats.
Well, we're going for the sweep tomorrow. Let's go.
Thanks, Gargo. All right, we go back upstairs to Drew.
Yeah, he may not have even realized that it dropped. Mark, thanks very much. Drew Stubbs flying home. And Cargo, he'll take it, man. Just like he said, better than a home run. It's a walk-off winner.
You never apologize for a win in the big leagues, and you'll take it.
Yeah, they're hard to come by,
yes,
aren't they? All right, good day again for the Rockies as they win 3 straight here against Atlanta. And as Cargo said, looking for the sweep tomorrow as we go to center field. Jenny and the gang.
All right, guys, I got it.
No, I got it.
No, I got it.
I got it.
Who cares? Cargo wins. That's the point. Rockies win 3 straight in a row. Plenty to talk about coming up on the Toyota postgame show.
Cargo 3, Braves 2.
I like that. Cargo 3, Braves 2, and some pitching.
Yeah, great pitching tonight from Jorge De La Rosa and the bullpen once again.
We'll get you inside the clubhouse as well. It's all coming up on a victorious Toyota postgame show.